Big news. I have some important news for you.
Interesting news.
It's Blake and Aaron's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
K-Man's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Happy Wednesday, Sandy.
Hey, happy Wednesday, Blake and Aaron. How are you guys doing?
All right, what do you got for us this morning?
All right, so we are getting news this morning of a traffic accident.
Oh, we know. We
drove through it.
We saw it. It makes
This
no
is
sense.
the one by Cricket Pitch stoplight.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Well, it does make sense. It's just why people can't just slow down, pay attention. It could have been avoided.
Oh my goodness. Well, expect traffic delays, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yesterday in breaking news, we had a father of 5 killed in Cayman Brac in a traffic incident.
Oh.
Yes, there unfortunately was a traffic fatality right
Wait,
in the
when
middle
are
of
we
the
gonna address
afternoon.
the traffic driving and problems on this?
Exactly.
It's crazy.
I mean,
When the top speed limit is what, 50?
And not
if
even
that,
anywhere.
most instances, it's not even that. You're in a different zone.
Any day you could be out on any of the bypass areas and any time of the day, and you see people going 60 by those speed. Every time you go by the speed radar checks that aren't obviously going to do anything, but they don't care. They know nothing's going to happen, and I think some people want to see how fast they can go. And there's never a cop there, ever.
Thomas McLean, age 47, and father of 5. Yes, passed away yesterday afternoon after being hit by a off-duty police officer.
Seriously.
Wow.
I'm gonna let that one sink in for a minute. 3 persons have been arrested after their boat tried to evade the Coast Guard. So the Coast Guard is out there trying to protect our waters and working hard. Apparently, the boat sank after attempts to run the vessel into the Coast Guard. Can you imagine?
That's
Absolutely.
wild.
Yeah, it's crazy on the high seas. That sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
What were they? Why were they running?
The usual.
Yes.
Undoubtedly. Drugs and guns. Yes.
Well, is that what they had? Do we know?
Well, they said that they approached the vessel and eventually they stopped the 3 men who were questioned about their action. And during that time, their boat began to take on water and eventually sank after they tried to run it into the Coast Guard. So they've only said that at this point that they've arrested the 3 men. So I don't know what else might have been on the vessel, if they threw anything overboard.
Do you know if they're local? Local people?
No, but listen, they were subsequently arrested on suspicion of being concerned with importation of controlled drugs. Okay. I doubt that they are, but I can't say 100%. But I kind of feel like if they were, we'd probably hear names already. And we haven't heard any. So, but we'll keep our eye to the ground. Congratulations to the deputy governor. His DJ's 5K challenge raised in 2022 a record $100,000.
Wow.
Yes, that's a lot of money.
That's always a good event.
Yes, absolutely. And they split the money between the Cayman Islands Cancer Society, the MS Foundation, and the Alzheimer's and Dementia Association of the Cayman Islands. So those groups are no doubt very, very grateful for that contribution.
All righty. Well, thank you for the headlines, Sandy.
Yes, absolutely.
And catch Sandy's show kicking off in just about 45 seconds on Bobo 89.1 FM. We'll see you tomorrow for Thursday headline.
Fantastic. Have a good one.
All right, Aaron, what you got coming up?
All right, folks. Good morning. We're just going to take a second and wait until we launch on Bobo. Let me grab all of my links. Don't forget, you can join the What's Up group for all of the latest news. Hold on. We're going to grab it. Here we go.
Bigger, better, bolder.
The cold, hard truth is taking talk to the next level. Right here on Bobo 89.1 FM, Cayman's community radio.
We are still spilling the tea.
And committed to being part of the change that Cayman so desperately needs. Join Sandy Hill weekdays from 7:30 a.m. for Premier Access, Cayman Voices, Truthful Thursdays, and much more. Cayman's #1 talk show is now bigger, better, bolder, and more than talk. Getting results with hot topics, consumer reports, court exposés, and more.
I've come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth.
Now, from the CMR studio in Grand Cayman,
Live, direct.
it's the cold, hard truth. Now, join the conversation on 345-936-2626.
That number again is
345-936-2626.
Good morning, K-Man. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday. Yay. Why not? We're happy for every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just be grateful. I don't care what day it is. I'm just happy to be standing up. 6 feet up and not 6 feet under. I hope you guys are having a fabulous week thus far. I have zero complaints. Doesn't make any sense to complain. I must tell you, I was telling y'all on Monday about my massage gun. A few of you messaged me after the show and you said, Sandy, where did you get that massage gun from? Well, y'all know my favorite hotspot, Amazon. And can I tell you something? I saw this thing on Facebook. It was so funny. It said, I feel like a millionaire because my Amazon cart has $1.2 million worth of stuff in it. Sometimes I do kind of feel like that could be me. But anyway, yes, I sent a few people. They're like, which one did you get? Because there are tons of them out there. You just got to shop around and, get one that's good quality that's going to last you a really, really long time. But child, I used it on Monday and got a little Voltaren rub on the shoulders because my neck and shoulders were really bothering me. And I can tell you what, I definitely feel the difference now. Feeling good. Speaking of Amazon, I'm having a quick look. They always get you with these, oh, you like this? Then check this out. Here's one that would be totally useless for me, but I think this is such an amazing invention. A pocket laser distance measure. It measures up to 98 feet or 30 meters, rechargeable mini laser tape measure. When you need to measure something, you know what? I could actually use this occasionally. This is how the conversation in my brain goes. Occasionally I measure a wall. In other words, in the last 5 years, I've measured one wall one time. So now my brain's like, you never know when you might need a tape measure. Probably never again. If I only do it once in 5 years, my goodness. But isn't this amazing? Talk about technology. I tell you what. They see Amazon knows your shopping habits. They know how to get you with little stuff. They're like, oh yeah, look at this. This is exactly what you need. And it's not what I need at all. So I'm gonna ignore Amazon this morning and be like, please, Amazon, stop sending me stuff. Stop putting stuff in when I look online in my way. And then, once you look at something, they know that you've looked at it, and all this artificial intelligence starts to troll you. So now I go to Facebook and the Facebook ads are going to pop up about lasers. And then, it's like a subliminal message every time now I see a laser. I'm like, oh my gosh, do I really need a laser? No, I do not need a laser. Ugh, what a hot mess. Anyway, I've also been looking at doggy stuff recently. You guys know we're expanding our family here in the household. So we have started the process, and I hear everything is on schedule. I was checking in yesterday, asking for some updated photos. So we have a name, we think. I feel like maybe we need to see the dog before we finally decide on a name, but I think we do have a name. Gianna has picked out a name that she'd like to name this new dog. And so I'll let you guys know when she's on her way or when she's here. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I saw Dog yesterday. I was like, oh my goodness, maybe she'll look like her, same color, white and black. And how was your Valentine's Day? Did you guys have a good one? What did you do? How was it? We put up a little bit of a funny picture about Valentine's Day where we were saying, things have changed. And so now your ideal Valentine's Day is a bouquet of an egg layer, a chicken, not flowers, because you can't eat flowers. You can't do anything with flowers. So what did you guys give or get for Valentine's Day? We have Miss Vernita in the house. Steven is here, Diamond Princess. A lot of people say that they don't celebrate it. It's commercialized. It's, I'm like, yeah, like it's not, people weren't killed in the name of Valentine's Day. So not that I'm aware of, I should say. So I don't really take it on. Like, I'm just like, yeah, I'll go out to dinner with my husband. He called me and he said, well, I got news for you. And I was like, oh yeah, what's going on? He's like, I hear it's woman time now. And I'm like, woman time? What the heck does that mean? Yes, y'all want freedoms and liberties and blah, blah, blah. So that means that you're treating me for Valentine's Day dinner. I had to laugh. He is so funny. I was like, oh, what women run things now, are we? Mm-hmm. I wish we were, Diamond Princess, right? Miss Olivia, things would be so much different if we actually were running the real things that matter. I tell you. Felicia's in the house. Good morning to Evelyn. How are you? Miss Bonnie's here. Marshall, how was the birthday celebrations? Aliano's got it locked. Marshall says, I had a good Valentine's Day since it was also my birthday. Yes, we wish you a happy birthday yesterday, but I think you missed it. You might have been out celebrating already. It's interesting to have a birthday on Valentine's Day. There was quite a few of you yesterday. Miss Amelia, there was you. There was, who else? A few people that we wished a happy birthday and Valentine's Day to. Evelyn said hers was great. Damien says people are wasting money on flowers that will just die. Well, Damien, having said that, a bouquet of flowers does cheer you up. And if you only get it once a year, take it, I would say. Some people buy fresh flowers all the time, once a week, because it's that good for you. Hello, Alejandro. My nails are a hot mess. Y'all know that I really, look at this one. It's like all chipped up. Y'all can't see. Like the little nail is cracking. I'm going to cut them down today. I can't be bothered with long nails. They require too much maintenance for me. I like to be as low maintenance as I possibly can with these things because I ain't got the time. I might have the money, but I don't want to waste the money and stuff like that either. So every once in a while, I'll do it. Every once in a while, you guys notice. And you do notice. You're like, oh my God, Sandy painted her nails. I'm like, okay, don't get too excited now. But yes, honestly, I can't even be bothered. So listen, look at this Valentine's Day. This is my favorite Valentine's Day picture. OMG. Look at this cutie patootie. Oh my gosh. Is she not the cutest little thing? This was my first Valentine's with Gianna. And Marlon delivered some flowers, probably more so some roses, probably more so for her than me, honey chill. And she was just tickled pink. Look at that little face. Oh my gosh. She's really gone through some changes. I mean, she kind of looks the same, but then she looks different at the same time. This was the crazy hair time when, it was just, just crazy. But she's so, when people see her in person, they're always like, oh my God, she's so tiny. They think, like here, you almost think that she could have a fat little leg, but she really didn't. Her legs were like super tiny. She was super tiny. But just the cutest little thing, right? And look at the eyelashes. Can y'all see those eyelashes? Like she was literally born with the most amazing eyelashes. Like in the NICU, the nurses were like, look at those lashes. I was like, whoa, I need those. Because when you get to my age, they start to fall out and turn gray and all that fun stuff. So enjoy your youthfulness while you can. But that was my little happy Valentine's Day dumpling. And so she made a little card at school yesterday. And she did arts and crafts for Valentine's Day. So of course she made a card for mom and dad. And she's like, Mom, I've got it in my bag, I think. And she put all her little stuff about how much she loves us and happy Valentine's Day. She's the sweetest little thing, I tell you. So, I'm working on a couple stories for y'all. Some of y'all, one person, a man, of course, says women been running things. I think they're running the wrong things is the problem. They need to be running governments. Some women, not all women, because some of y'all, I wouldn't want you running circles around me, even much less the government. So I've been working on a few things, and yes, uh, I'm going to see how quickly I can address one of them because I think one of them is really going to surprise you, the people. But y'all know I need to get I like to get my details and my information together. And this one, government, y'all need to get it together. That's all I'm saying. Do get it together. So somebody sent me some information this morning. Some of it I'm still trying to digest because it actually is very difficult to digest. Because it's like, huh? Say what? But we'll talk about those later on. You'll see in due time. Irvin says people waste money in a lot of things that don't last. Alcohol is a prime example. Yeah, even food. Speaking of food, so I did go out for Valentine's Day. So I told you guys I'm doing this. I'm gonna try the intermittent fasting for a minute. I don't know if it's my imagination, but I do feel slimmer. I've not stepped on a scale in a while, but I'm going to wait like maybe next week and I'll step on the scale. So I'm eating between noon and 8 o'clock. That's my, I don't know if that's like, they have different terms. Like I'm not really that big into the intermittent things, but I'm aware they have different terms for like when you do how long you're fasting for it and whatever. So to me, that one's doable. I'm going to see how it goes. So I've completed 1 week. So a couple of hurdles. I'm trying to do weekends as well. Like I'm trying to do as many days as possible. Weekends are more difficult, I must admit. And the other thing that I've noticed is if you go out to eat, it's difficult because most of the times you've got a little bit later in the day or in the evenings, right? So you've got to like time it. But yesterday I went all day. I interviewed a lady who's 102 for one of my Keyman Voices segment. I'm so excited about airing that one. 102 years old. I was so honored. OMG. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. How many of you have got to interview someone who's 102? How many of us even know anybody who's coherent at 102, who can still hold a conversation and know what's going on? It's just, when I tell you, just absolutely honored. It's just amazing. But anyway, I'm excited about that. And so I was kind of busy in the day. And then the afternoon came and I was running some more errands. And I had to go see a customer about something, needed to sort something out for them. And, I was kind of all over the place. But next thing I knew, it was like 3 o'clock and I hadn't eaten anything. I was like, oh my God, now I'm proper hungry. Yes. And I'm not just hungry. I'm getting into that hangry stage, where I'm hungry and it's making me annoyed. And I'm like, yes, honey, chill. So I started to message Marlon and I said, well, what are we going to do? Are we going to get food? Da, 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 da. So he's like, yeah, he'll leave work a few minutes early and we'll do it early Valentine's Day dinner. So I said, all right, hurry up because I'm hungry. So I went and picked up Gianna from school and then he got stuck in traffic. Go figure. And so it took him a minute to get to us. I was like, listen, I cannot wait another minute. Now it's like after 5 o'clock and I'm legit starving. I've not had anything to eat all day. Because now it's like almost 24 hours that I haven't eaten. Because remember, I'm stopping at 8 o'clock. And I'm just like, no, I'm hungry. Ciao. So we decided to go to Abacus. They're seeing people who own a bunch of restaurants, I think. And they used to own Deckers. And over at Deckers, they had the all-you-can-eat lobster. And they've moved it over now to Abacus. And so I decided, I'll do the all-you-can-eat lobster. Child, one plate in and I was done, but it was good. It was really good. Local lobster tail. So I had that, but I had to start it with some soup because now I'm like, oh God, I'm gassy. My stomach's going to hurt me if I try to eat something too heavy. And so, yes, I started with some nice lobster bisque and the bread, OMG, was to die for. Nice and warm, a little bit of butter. And I had to slow down after the second slice. I'm like, oh, I could totally fill up on this bread, which would not nutritionally be the right thing to do. So I had to reel it back on the bread, but the meal was good. So big shout out to them. I really enjoyed it. So when it came to dessert time, they're like, do you want any dessert? And I was like, no, I'm too full. I can't eat another bite. Like now I'm full. So I decided when I got home that I was gonna, but you see, you gotta go early to dinner now if you're trying to be done by 8 o'clock. So I decided when I got home, some friends came over the weekend. I want to do a shout out to Mia Schwartz and her husband Leon. Mia makes this homemade ice cream. Now, I've never made ice cream in my life, but honey chill, I'm tempted to get this recipe from her. She made this homemade raspberry ice cream. It like right now I could go eat some of it. That's how good it is. It is to die for. Like when I tell you, it's got to be one of the best. And I'm not even big on raspberry. Like I like raspberry iced tea, but I'm not like big on sitting down eating raspberries or, but this ice cream, real raspberries in it and everything is amazing. So I got some over the weekend and I've been slowly like, I'll have 2 spoonfuls today. I'm going to go back at that ice cream later on today. I'm warning y'all already. It is, woo! Good morning, Damien. Damien says people can cheer up each other every day of the year. Valentine's Day has the most depression and suicides in the world. Does it really? Yeah, y'all don't need to stress y'all stuff out. So listen, Melissa says, as long as it's not my money and you can't take it with you when you're going to leave it behind for people to fight over, it's awesome to talk about. It's awesome to talk with them. Got one. What is this? 104. I live with with the older people. I live for my talks with Granny. Oh, she's 104. What? Fantastic. All right. So somebody just sent me something this morning. I had a little chuckle moment. I'm going to have to message our friends over at Doctor's Hospital to inquire about this move. Y'all remember the story of Dr. Andrew Robinson assaulting another physician. And of course, Doctor's Hospital lied through their teeth and claimed that it never happened. And that I guess we made it up. And we also must have made up the police report that was called in. And we must have made up the fact that he was warned to not assault people. Yeah, they should know better than to lie to me. But anywho, they lied. And then somebody sent me this morning. I had a little bit of a chuckle. Apparently, he is no longer at Doctor's Hospital. Well, that was fast. That was just in December that this incident happened. I understood from sources here, there, and everywhere that they'd actually removed him from the position of, I think he was the interim, or he was the medical director or something. So they kind of demoted him from that position to, I guess, just being a regular doctor. I don't know. So he wasn't medical director after all that stuff came out. But of course, they were lying and trying to keep it on the down low, but little do they know. Not easy to keep anything on the down low in the Cayman Islands. Look at this now. Good old brother Andrew Robinson has left Doctor's Hospital and he's now at Integra Healthcare. So I would love to know the backstory to this and how that conversation went. Did he leave of his own accord after they demoted him from medical director? Or did they kind of push him out the door? Inquiring minds want to know. Dr. Rado, are you listening this morning? Do tell what happened to Dr. Robinson. Because remember, Dr. Rado is the one who issued a statement claiming that we got it wrong and there was no fight. Poor him. He's so silly. I hope he learned his lesson about lying, though, because it's not a good look, especially for a part owner of the hospital. Yes. We don't like to know that people lie at all, but certain positions, your physicians and owners of these facilities, you should be honest. We say honesty is the best policy. So, I'm guessing they probably gave him his walking papers. That would be my guess. But anyway, he landed on his feet very quickly, as is normally the case, honey child. If he were a Caymanian, that probably would not have happened. First of all, we're very, very frank. If he was a Caymanian, which Caymanians do they have working there? And I don't mean paper Caymanians. I'm talking about Caymanians that we actually know. Probably Dr. Sydney. Dr. Solomon, I think, is there as well. I'm trying to think who else. Well, they also have he's been here forever, for donkey years. Dr. What's his name again? Oh, Lord, I can't remember. The OBGYN. I can't remember his name now. But he's been there forever. But I reckon if it was any of them, you would have gotten your walking papers, honey child. Immediately, not a month later. But anywho, good luck to Dr. Andrew. I hear he's actually an okay guy as long as you don't piss him off. I guess everybody's okay as long as you don't piss him off. Yes, Dr. Sydney. Yes, I did say Dr. Sydney Ebanks is there. Child, they would have tried to fire Dr. Sydney Ebanks, but I know that might have been their match. Hot mess. So he's now at Integra Healthcare. So there you have it. There's a lot of movements of physicians. It's quite interesting sometimes. I wouldn't say a lot, but it's interesting how sometimes they move around. So we do have some guests who are going to be joining us at the 8 o'clock hour. Thank you. The person knew exactly who I was talking about. Dr. Dialwas. Yes, my apologies. Totally forgot his name. So such sad news yesterday coming out of Cayman Brac that this gentleman, his name is Thomas McLean, lost his life in a traffic incident. Now, everybody says Thomas was no angel. And boy, have I heard some stories since yesterday. But, we Caymanians tell you don't speak ill of the dead. At the end of the day, he still has children that he's leaving behind. And I hope he was a good father and they have lots of really positive memories. Now, he's a McLean from Honduras, right? There are different McLeans here. They're not the McLeans from East End, to be clear, because Chad, they tell you about your backside if you mix them up. So very sad. We wish to extend our condolences to his family, especially his 5 children that he has now left behind. The word on the street is an off-duty police officer ran into him. And somebody told me this is not the first time that she's had an accident. Quite ironically enough. So Melissa says, yes, we McLean from East End. So Melissa, you're a different McLean than him. But quite interestingly enough, the lady who ran into him, her name is also McLean. So when I first got the report that there's been a fatality with Rosa and Thomas McLean, I was like, who the hell's Rosa? Was that his wife in the car with him? And they were like, no, that's the woman who hit him. And I was like, huh? So somebody else named McLean hit a McLean? What are the chances? Anyway, we'll see what the investigation bears in terms of this situation. Apparently, sources said that she was probably, someone says she's married to McLean. Oh, okay. Interesting. Where's she from? Anyway, sources say that speed was likely a factor. Why y'all speeding on Cayman Brac, though? Where are you going exactly? You know what I'm saying? Oh, she's a Bracker. Oh, okay. What a hot mess. So they had the vehicle covered up and the road taped off. She was driving this black SUV and he was in a white car, I believe. But very sad situation. I mean, the Brac is such a small community. Now, was Thomas living on the Brac? I don't think is he a new resident or what was the situation of him there? Damien says those nice, smooth, black top roads. I don't think the roads are the problem, Damien, with all due respect. I think it's the drivers who cause the accidents. It's not the roads or the cars. It's just the drivers and their slackness, as always. So he's been there a few years. Okay. Melissa says our great-grandfather is Charles McLean from East End. And Charlene confirms that he works and lives on the Brack. All right. So your great-grandfather, are you saying that Thomas is from East End as well? He's a Honduran McLean. Anyway, there's some McLeans. It's like the Barneses as well. You guys know I'm a Barnes on my mother's side, but there are Barneses who like came here, like not the original Barnes. Because quite frankly, the original Barnes came here too. My grandfather came here, I guess in the, I don't know what year, way back yonder. But since then, we've had some Santos Barnes that are not actually Barnes, but they decided to take the Barnes name and drop their Spanish name. I don't know what that's all about, but they are from, I believe, Nicaragua or somewhere else. Is it Nicaragua? Santo Domingo? I don't know. Somewhere, some regional Spanish country. And they took on the name Barnes. So we don't really consider them like a Barnes. We're like, oh, okay. You don't just take a name and be like, oh, this is my name. But they did. So this person says, good morning. I could be wrong. My apologies. But I think she might be married to the same breed of McLeans. Oh, Lord, what a mess. Only the Cayman Islands, honey chill. What a thing. I tell you. So she's a Bracker. Oh. What does she look like? Anybody get a picture? What was her name before? What's her Braca name? Things heating up in Cayman Brack, honey child, on so many levels, but all in due course. That's all I can say. Ooh, the Brack, I tell you. That lot over there is special in so many ways. So this person says some Cayman McLeans and the McLeans from Honduras are related. Oh, yeah, I can see that. So they probably need to take a Cayman 23andMe test to see how that really goes. So I don't think I have, when I look at my 23andMe results, I don't think I have any Brack connections, I must say. Child, I'm still shocked that I got all these West Bay connections. Lord Jesus. That makes me so special. Y'all know. I'm like, listen, I'm a Georgetowner. I don't know where this West Bay thing come from. All right. So, filter. I always like to go in and see recent connections. So recent related. So that's like people who've recently taken the test and then they show up in your results. Yeah. So I'm surprised. I don't know. Well, I tell you what, I got some E-Bankses all over the place. Couple Conleys too, so there might be an East End connection. But I was really surprised to see Rolston's daughter in here, and I'm curious now about whether or not I'm actually related to Rolston, England, or is it on the other side of the family? I don't really know much about his wife, to be honest, but it could be on that side. I think every single Caymanian should take this test. Like, we need to know who you really for. Some of y'all scared to know that. And, try to figure it out. But you know what? I think there could be a connection to the Anglins. And this is why I'm going to say this. There is a guy who showed up on my test, and he happens to be a customer of mine. And I messaged him and I said, this is interesting because it says that we are cousins and we're not probably maybe in third cousins. And so his mom is a Caymanian. His dad is, I think, American. And so, yes, his mom is a Caymanian, and he was saying to me that he's trying to find his Caymanian roots. And so he said to me, that she's a West Bear. And I was like, another West Bear? Are you kidding me? He's like, yes, my mother's Caymanian, West Bear. Then he says that France Manderson is his cousin. And I was like, oh my God, France, can you please take the DNA test? Because we probably cousins too. And I was like, that's interesting. And apparently he's closely related to Paulette Anglin Lewis and Wendy Watler, like they're siblings, and they're all family. So I suspect if Paulette was a Anglin, follow the logic here now, Rolston is an Anglin, my connection is probably with the Anglins, not on his wife's side. I don't even know what his wife's people, I don't know who they are. But I believe that that might actually make some kind of sense. So if anybody knows the connection of how I could possibly be related to the Anglins, but after he said that to me, I said, oh, there's definitely a connection here. There is definitely a connection with the Anglins and West Bay. So Paulette was married to an Anglin, so she's not an Anglin? What's her? She's an Anglin through marriage. So what is she? What was she before? It's getting, the puzzle is not really falling into place. It's getting more confusing. Really? So France Manderson is a cousin of ours from his mother's side. Okay, she's married to Donnie Anglin, as in the big group of Anglins with like the 13 siblings, the boxer. Oh, I think she was a Manderson, if my mind serves me correctly. Paulette Manderson. Really? Huh. Wow. So could I be related to the Mandersons? What? What a mess. I really need to dig a little bit deeper into this mystery. I'm telling you. So they do a whole thing with the family names where you can sort by family name. So it has me connected to 94 Ebankses. But I don't see Manderson showing up. I see Jackson, Parchment, Thompson's, Bodden, Smith, Powell. I don't really see advanced filters. I'm going to have to look into this. Interesting. Can I type in ancestry composition? Can I type in a family name? They don't give you the option to type it in. So that means I'd have to go through all of those to see if there's any Mandersons in there. Oh my God, there's like over 1,500 people in here for me. Oh, hold on. Manderson, let me see. I think I figured out how to, no, maybe that's not it. I don't know, but it's a mystery. I need to ask some people. This person says, I think there's some confusion. France Manderson's sister is Paula Manderson, not Paulette Anglin Lewis. Oh, to be very clear, maybe I said it. Did I say it wrong? So I'm speaking about Paulette Anglin Lewis. So Paulette was married to an Anglin, is what I'm being told. She married the boxer Donnie Anglin. So you could be related to Tiffany too, says this. Y'all need to stop. You know, it's the Cayman Islands. Anything is possible. Tiffany could be my little cousin, bless her little heart. Tiffany, you want me to take you under my wings? We can get that temper under control, honey child. I got a good formula Aunt Lottie taught me that worked wonders. We might have to throw common sense and the good education out the window for a little bit while we work on the program, but we'll come back to those things. But you know, we gotta humble you first. We gotta make you realize the ways of the errors of your ways. Yes, honey child. I'm just saying. We get you sorted out, girlfriend, cousin Tiffany. So this other person says, or Ebanks says, could be an Ebanks, thinking about it now. Mandersons came out of St. Elizabeth, Jamaica. They did? Anything came up with the Wells, as Tiffany's mother is a Wells. Y'all are so shady. All y'all now thinking that I'm probably connected. Y'all need hush. But you know what? I thought I saw Wells on the list somewhere. That is so funny. I think I did see a Wells on here though, like for real. Oh my God. I have Gina Wells and Nicholas Wells, and they are third to fourth cousins. Nicholas is a little bit less. He is a third to fifth cousin. Gina Wells, it says here, I don't know who Gina is, but she's from the Cayman Islands. It says that we share, you and Gina may share a set of great-great-grandparents. You could also be from different generations, as in removed cousins, or share only one ancestor, so we could be half cousins. So second great-grandparents would make us third cousins, and that's how Gina and I are connected. So I only have 2 Wells listed, but she's on there. It's so interesting that you mentioned St. Elizabeth, though, because again, y'all know my grandfather was a Jamaican, and he's from St. Elizabeth. That's where the Barneses come from. So maybe the connection could go all the way back to Jamaica between the Mandersons and the Barneses. Like, I don't know. That's super interesting. So this person says, you're getting closer, Sandy. You found a Wells. Oh, God. Lord Jesus, don't make it be so. This one says, but look how you want to take Tiffany under your wing. And I'm here looking positive guidance, laughing out loud. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. No. You're looking for positive guidance? I'll take you under my wing. We can do it. Yeah, Tiffany might be. Oh, Lord. She needs Aunt Lottie. Aunt Lottie, I suspect Aunt Lottie she could make anybody submit. Trust and believe that. She was a cast iron woman. Oh my gosh. Because remember now, I think at the age of 9, if I had not been put on the right path, I probably would have ended up like Tiffany. Like for real. And Aunt Lottie saw that anger, that fire that was not being used in a constructive way within me. And she's like, oh, we got to break this right here, right now, honey child. And I was so defiant. But you can only be defiant for so long against the likes of an Aunt Lottie, honey child. Having said that, I think I maintained enough of a defiance to still make my way through the world. I'm not bending too easily now. Don't be getting no ideas. Yes, honey child. Some of these men be like, oh, she's bendable. I'm coming, honey child. I'm like, nope. Keep walking. Keep skipping along. Hot mess. The Honduras McLeans are from out of East End. My great-grandfather met my great-grandmother in Honduras. Oh, so they're all connected. Paulette is an Ebanks, somebody says. Val, oh, is she? Oh, well, then that would make total sense if she's an Ebanks, actually. Because like I said, I got a lot of Ebanks connection. Val says, I have no interest in DNA tests. Don't care to learn about more relatives. Find it quite boring. Oh, Val, no. Good morning, Debbie. Damien, yes, the original Barneses came out of Jamaica. Marshall says, my condolences to the Thomas family. I remember him from high school. May he rest in peace. Sad situation, and I'm interested to see what the investigations will bear in terms of the off-duty officer. Melissa says, Sandy, I feel you that my family are the McLeans and the Ebankses. So that means that you related to all the Cayman, honey child. The Wells are from the UK, and Wells from Welsh and Wales. Well, there is that little 20% European connection that I'm not too keen to claim that's out of the UK, but all right. I'm going to claim the 80%, honey chill. Lots of Barneses and St. Elizabeth for real, says Miss Dean. Melissa says, I feel you, Sandy. My family name is Ebanks from North Side and McLean from East End. Speaking of which, Melissa, Only recently, I found out that I'm also related to the Ebankses from Northside as well. So Joey Ebanks apparently is my cousin. Now, I swear that Carmelie told me this story, but you know, when Carmelie starts to talk, child, half of it goes in one ear, not the other. So I can't even remember. But I think that we, hold on now. I gotta tell you, we're actually pretty close relatives, Joey and I, in fact. And I was like, really? Yeah, like probably second or third cousins. But on my mother's side, as I recall, oh Lord, I think they were two. Oh, let me see if Carmelie can answer the phone this morning. I don't know what she be up to these days, child. I haven't heard from her recently. She's been kind of quiet, honey, child. Mm-hmm. Let me see now if she'll pick up the phone this morning. She told me this story. That's the only reason I'm trying to call her, because I do remember her telling me kind of how this goes. So let me see if I'm the worst though with recalling it later on. I can't remember what she said, but she told me some story about how we're related. And so that is interesting. Huh. So I wonder how the Ebankses got in Northside. Not that they couldn't walk from West Bay to East End, but I'm just saying. So from Northside, rather. Who broke their arm? Somebody broke their arm? Oh, Carmelie broke her arm? What the hell? She is the most accident-prone person I have ever met. She loved her adult.
Carmelie, if you don't get me on this number, call.
All right, let's try the next number because she wanted them undercover people. Always got more than one number. But she broke her arm? Lord Jesus, me never know. I try not to get in her business. Believe me, that is for the best. She's going to have to pray about that. I didn't know she broke her arm. Oh my gosh. She's not answering today. Anyway.
You have reached the voice.
She's not answering today, boy. Must have sleeping. What a life. So I think she said to me that our grandmother on my mother's side and his grandmother were two sisters, I believe. Don't kill me if I get it wrong, but that means that like we're pretty close in terms of relatives. So what did she do to her arm? What a hot mess she in. Poor her. Anyway, we'll get it figured out. This person says that's why I didn't marry Caymanian, because we're all family. The whole Cayman is family. When the men then went to spread their seeds, they will walk the globe. Hence, we have Ebankses and other names throughout the entire island. Yeah, it's not just the island, but all over the world, honey child. That's what they did. You got to do your genealogy test. Yes, you've definitely got to do it. Where's my guest this morning? Where are they? Chad, look like they're late. I don't know what happened to them. They're supposed to be here at 8 o'clock. This one says, yes. Yeah, Sandy and West Bay in disguise, rolling on the floor, LMAO. Tch. What a hot mess. Now, you know that could explain some of the crazy. This person says you can always choose your friends, but not your family. Well, you might not be able to choose your family, but you can choose whether or not you're going to interact with them. Believe me, you. Aliano in the house says it should be mandatory that Caymanians get a DNA lineage record. I think so too. I think we should get together as a country and build out our entire, hear me now, from the perspective of like culture and national archives and all that good stuff. We should build out one big, I mean, come on, we're a dying breed after all. Why not? Right? We should build out a big genealogy chart. All Caymanians get on it. See who you really for. You might be surprised at who you're connected to. I think the government should give everybody a DNA kit, honey child. But I know that some of y'all don't really want to know because you've been living in a fantasy world. Someone has been telling you that you for this man and you actually are not. Your mommy was lying to you because she had about 4 boyfriends at the time. And if Jerry Springer was around, she would have been in an episode of Jerry Springer. Aliana says the tree roots go too far all over the place. Maybe, but it seems like the roots be bringing you right back to where you began. So the late Honorable John McLean was my great-grandfather's family, says Melissa. Jonathan is here with jokes as usual. He says, because I'm the ambassador of G3, if I did a DNA test, people would think I'm the spawn of Satan. Poor Jonathan. What a hot mess. Jonathan, I don't know. You must really smoke pot because on a good day, I don't know where the hell you get this stuff from. I'm just like, what? So I do have some McLeans here. They're further down the line, though, 3rd to 6th cousins, so they're not particularly close. So we have a Donald McLean. Who's Donald McLean? Is that like Donald that is, he's the one who owns the pharmacy? Healthcare pharmacy? That Donald? Wow. But he's like way down. It actually says that he's a 4th cousin. So it says that you and Donald may share a set of 3rd great-grandparents. Interesting. 4th cousins. All right, Donald. And then we have a Milton McLean. I don't know who Milton is, but it says also 4th cousins from Milton McLean. Same thing. 3rd great-grandparents. And we have a Sharice McLean. Oh, she's pretty. I like her profile picture. She's cute. 4th cousin as well. So there's a couple McLeans in there, but they're further down the lineage. So that's interesting. Brent McLean's mother, Brent McLean's brother. Yes, that Donald. He's Brent McLean's brother. Lord have mercy. See, I don't know who. I'm the worst. I really need this DNA thing to figure people out because I don't know who family to who and whatever. So Donald and Brent McLean are brothers. And these are the McLeans from Honduras. Melanie McLean is Donald's sister. Oh, what a hot mess. You see that? There you go. Okay. So that was Milton McLean, Donald McLean, and Sharice McLean. Are they all family? Y'all need to get these tests done. Brent, do a test because it turns out me and you probably cousins. I kind of felt the same way, though, about marrying A.K. Mannion because I always used to say this to my dad. I'm like, because I don't really know enough people. It would be me that would decide to marry a first cousin and not even know. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, here comes the children looking kind of whacked. And people are like, oh, gosh, Sandy, yeah, we forgot to tell you. That's your first cousin, honey child. And I'd be like, what? Are you crazy? I mean, the Royals did it, but it was never a good idea. So I think Sharice is for Busta Arden's brother. So I'm really family to them too. Because, I'm family to them. My aunt is a McLean, Adonia Topsy, and she married my uncle. So that means that I'm probably related to her, like for real, not just as a, in-law kind of relation. She must be blood relatives. And so that means that my cousin is probably a double cousin way down the line, 5th or 6th cousins. Lord Jesus, take the wheel. Wayne says, hashtag pray for Jonathan. Yes, we're going to try. Although I suspect there's probably not enough prayer in the world that can help Jonathan. Take another puff, Jonathan. Take another puff. Because at this point, I'm like, how much worse can it possibly get? Val does not like the genealogy show. Oh, Val, poor you. My goodness, my tweet him. Who you for, Val? Who your mama is? Who your daddy is? Melissa says, shoot, I got one uncle that had 28 kids. Wow, now that is something. Did this uncle do anything else other than have kids? I mean, did he have time to work? We knew about 28 that she knew about, Lord. And since he died, met 4 that no one knew about. So yeah, I'm not marrying any Caymanians without a full FBI or CIA investigation. Oh, Lord. Yes, Melissa, pray for us all. All right, Wayne says, Melissa, thanks. Blessed to wake up this morning, as are all of us. All right, I was trying to kill some time. Glenn, I was just about to say I was waiting on my guests, but they're not here. All you have to do is click on the link that I sent to be forwarded to you. So I don't know what's going on. 3 guests waiting since 8 o'clock. Well, they're not waiting with me, I'm afraid. I don't know where y'all are waiting. Glenn, WhatsApp me. I'm going to send you the correct link. Because I do not know where you guys are waiting, to be honest. Which is bizarre. Because what I do know is that the link should be working because the other 2 people used it this morning to get on the show. And it doesn't change mid-show, so I'm not really sure what's going on. Nope, it's the same link. I've just confirmed it. So I don't know where in cyberspace you're waiting. 324-1612. It's probably easier for you to WhatsApp me, and then I'll send you the link. I was wondering. I was like, where are they? I'm here. I'm ready. Let's get it. We'll get it sorted out. Not to worry. In fact, let me just see ya. There. If you can click on that, you can hop on, Glenn. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where y'all are at, but all right, we'll get it. Don't worry. Okay, just scouring some other news things this morning. Oh, yes. Somebody's saying, can you please send us the invoice? We'd like to pay you. Isn't that nice? I love when people like to pay. I will do. I've been so busy. All right. Our guests will be on momentarily, good people. We're going to be talking about Black History Month at UCCI. Fantastic. All right, let me just take a quick little break while I run out. Let's play a little musica, our national song. Yes. All right, so when you guys jump in, I'm just going to take a little break and then we'll come back with our guests. And then we shall get things moving here this morning. All right, folks, I am back and I see my guests keep hopping in and out. So let's see if we can get you to stay in there. And then this one says the FBI lie. According to the Bible, it was Adam and Eve. So there we go. That's so funny. All right. So are we ready? Glenn, I see you. Are you ready for me to pull you in? So somebody else giving us a little bit of familial connection. Says he's a McLean from East End, speaking to a certain person. His father was Foster McLean, and they used to sell chicharron. Okay. Foster McLean's father was from East End, and his name was Charles McLean. That's where Thomas is connected from. Okay. Somebody yesterday said he was the Honduras McLean, but as somebody just pointed out, they all one big happy or not so happy family. I'm not sure. Everybody connected, honey child. All right. I hear my guests popping in again. Are we ready? Glenn, almost. Who else is joining us? We looking for Stephanie? So y'all know that February is Black History Month. Y'all may not know because Caymanians kind of try to forget that part of their own history, the Blackness. And so we don't celebrate and do anything around Black History Month. We need a month dedicated to just Cayman culture. And I don't mean Pirates Week either, or Pirates Month, or Pirates 3 month, or whatever the heck we were trying to do with it this year. We need like real Cayman culture. Cayman History Month. Okay, beautiful. Now I can see people. Nope. Brother Glenn keeps coming and going. I'm going to give him a second to get himself sorted out. Dr. Stephanie Fuller Cooper, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
Fairly well. Thank you.
Wonderful. We're gonna wait on Glenn to get his camera sorted. I see he's working on it. Yes. So at the University College of the Cayman Islands, you guys are celebrating Black History Month. Thank you for that. And so you have a number of events that are planned for the month. Jam-packed schedule, in fact, of events and experiences for the faculty, staff, and students to enjoy. So I believe that Glenn Inanga is now ready to join us as well. Good morning. Yay. We can see you. Can you see us? Can you hear us? Hi, Glenn. I think he's joining in. It looks like he might be using his phone. Glenn, we can't hear you for some reason. So maybe check your audio for me. Yes. And I'm not very good at reading lips, I'm afraid. All right, I'm going to pull you out. Give you just a second. So while Glenn is working on that, Dr. Stephanie, tell us a little bit about what some of the events are that you have planned. Because first of all, is this the first year that you guys are celebrating Black History Month?
That's an interesting question because we, the professors, have been celebrating Black History Month for years. Mm-hmm. I understand that previous to me being at UCCI, which is some 14 years ago, Black History Month was celebrated. But the professors would wear African garb, just do some things among ourselves each year. But last year we decided we want to really connect with the students, get the students involved, and we wanted to then ensure that they were part of the celebration. So we've made it bigger and better this year, for want of a better expression.
All right, wonderful. Well, I do like it because, like I was saying, we were talking just a little bit about genealogy and Caymanians and history and kind of how we're all interconnected. And the vast majority of us have roots right out of Africa. I did my 23andMe, and so we have that shared African ancestry as Caribbean people. And yes, and there's a lot of people who don't want to claim it, but my 80%, because it's like 20% European, 80% African, Jamaica mix. I'm claiming the 80% with pride. Hello.
And that's what we want. That's what we want. We found that students were not aware of that. So you have a great idea in terms of percentage of what your genealogy is. A lot of students don't know that. They haven't even thought of exploring that. And so when we have discussions in classes on the simplest thing related to Blackness or the Caribbean history, there is always a eureka moment, like it's new for them. And I thought, this is really sad in a Caribbean university. We want to be able to speak with passion, with conviction, with knowledge. And so it was very important for us to have these kinds of discussions with our students. So we are, like you said, having a really jam-packed schedule. We have tried to compress everything into the first 17 days of the month, because starting next week, we go into exams here at UCCI. So it was important for us to really get everything done. So we've had several presentations already. Today, we have our final 2 presentations, and students have been coming out in numbers. We have just been amazed by the turnout and the interest. And we've been talking with them about Caribbean, Afrocentricity, African retentions in the Caribbean. And what it has also allowed us to do is to speak with them about not just what's happening in the Anglophone Caribbean. We've had a presentation on Haiti. Today, we're having a presentation on the Dutch Caribbean. So it's a wonderful opportunity to expose them to what's happening within our region, and also especially what's happening within our country.
So fascinating. Now, I must tell you, I mentioned earlier that I had the opportunity yesterday to interview a lady who is 102 years old.
Oh, wow.
And so we have this series. And by the way, UCCI is a sponsor of the series. So thank you to UCCI, called Cayman Voices. And it's all about, through interviews, learning who we are as a people, learning a bit about our culture and heritage. And the one thing that I think we all know is Caymanians are a big mixed bag of a little bit of everything, right?
That's the Caribbean reality. Not
Yes.
just
So
but
I was going to say,
Jamaica.
the interconnectivity is amazing. So when I was speaking to her, she was born in Panama, grew up in Panama until the age of 12, and then went to Jamaica because her father was a Jamaican and was just working in Panama on the Panama Canal. So a lot of times our forefathers, fathers, grandfathers, they were migrating to different places in order to work. Some never returned to the Caribbean. They remained in the US, the UK, and other places in Europe.
Caribbean diaspora.
Yeah. So I think it's so important for us to learn more about Black history, Afrocentric history. And the most ironic thing is, people took advantage of travel, I think, like our forefathers, in a way that sometimes we don't. We're kind of like stuck in Cayman. I wish every single Caymanian had the opportunity to travel more and to live abroad for at least 5 years out of their lives, because their perspective would be so much broader. So I'm glad, because you probably have a lot of students who've never really lived anywhere else and have very limited travel. Most people think Miami is like the epitome of a trip. So, when you have these courses and discussions and lectures that really focus on educating people's perspective on who else is in the world, and how the world is really put together and comprised, I think it's so amazing. The whole situation in Haiti is just so fascinating and sad, all at the same time, but it's part of Caribbean culture for sure. So
I'm so sorry to cut in. We wanted our students to understand the role Haiti played in regional freedom, in impacting several other countries. And I think they walked away with that knowledge. It was a, wow, I didn't know that kind of experience. And it's not just the presentations that we're doing. We have these displays every Friday where we can have more one-on-one discussions. We talk about Cayman, some of the persons who have impacted the Cayman landscape, social, political, Sir Basil Johnson, for example. And it's just amazing that when we have this fun game we do called Name the Person. And it's just interesting when we project locals that a number of our students aren't aware of who they are, but it's an opportunity to engage them in, guess what Sir Basil Johnson did for your country? Guess what happened with Sybil McLaughlin, with Aunt Julia? We're celebrating our own from different walks of life.
This is amazing, I think. So you one of the events is the actual courtyard experience. Is that what you were talking about every Friday?
Displays, yes.
Yes. Okay. and that's called Black First, which is an interactive presentation of individual facts about Blacks and the African diaspora, and a display on Black writers in the UCCI library as well.
Yes.
Fashion show, clothing sale, lunch hour concert, and a film screening of the Black Panther movie. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so we wanted to engage the students as fully as we could. So we wanted, if they go to the library, they see a display there. If they are in the courtyard, we wanted them to see something. We're talking with them in our classes. We're including an essay, for example, on Frederick Douglass or some prominent Black person in history, just so that we're talking. Just outside my office, there's a board where I'm just putting up quotations, up ye mighty race, you can accomplish what you will. Just these kind of expressions, not for activism, not just to be pro-Black, but really to educate our students and to say, this is what's happening in your region. So some of what you mentioned just now, we're actually doing this coming Friday. The fashion show, for example. We're also having a lunch hour concert. I was hoping Mr. Ananga would have been able to speak with you about that. But we're having a lunch hour concert, and our students are performing. They're playing Bob Marley music. They're performing their own poems about freedom and liberation, or whatever their theme might be. And then, of course, we have had a video competition where students are creating videos just talking about what Black History Month means to me. And you know what's interesting, Miss Sandra? I have had several students who came up to me and said, I don't know anything about Black History Month. How can I do the video? And well, this is your opportunity to know something, or to say, what does Black History Month mean to me? It hasn't meant absolutely anything, but here's how it's changing. So it has been really wonderful to engage the students in multiple ways.
Super interesting. So I've invited Glenn Ananga to join us. He can call in as well, because it looks like he's having some issues joining the video stream. But he can definitely call in. We'll be able to at least hear him. So lots of activities. Tell us a little bit else about what's going on. So we have this one is quite interesting with Professor Livingston Smith. The emergence of distinctive Caribbean intellectual thought and history. So that's actually going to be a presentation.
Oh, it already was a presentation.
Oh, that one happened already. Oh,
yes, we started from February 1. So we have been, like I said, today we have the final 2 presentations by myself and Dr. Durham. But Dr. Smith did a wonderful presentation on Black thinkers like C.L.R. James, Walter Rodney, Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King. It was just this projection of thought leaders from the Caribbean, which is very important, because if you remember, during slavery, Blacks were stereotyped as not having a brain. We were innately ignorant. So it was interesting to hear that kind of presentation, how thinking began in the Caribbean, and how despite what we were said to be, the ways we were said to be limited, we were able to transcend all of that and have some real thought leaders who have emerged from the region.
Yes, absolutely. And I see Wayne here saying that it shouldn't be celebrated because all it does is remind us of how Blacks are treated. That's so sad, Wayne, that you think that way, because if you don't celebrate yourself, who's going to do it?
Right? And it's also important, right, to step back to the past, to be able to understand your present and to project for the future. So I am with you on this one.
Yes, absolutely.
Important
I think it's a matter of awareness, bringing a sense of enlightenment to your people, and knowing that sometimes the history that you may know, or traditional history, really hasn't done an effective or amazing job at telling you the truth of who even invented things like the internet was a Black woman, and all these other elements, because we want to just be spoon-fed the textbook version, the traditional textbook version. But textbooks are being rewritten to be a lot more accurate. And I think we all have to be in the forefront of appreciating our lineage, our individual histories and cultures that come with all of that. So this is fantastic. I think that this entire month is being celebrated by UCCI. Of course, Glenn Ananga is the assistant professor for division, humanities, and social science. Of course, he is an amazing musician in his own right. I have had the opportunity to have, I'm actually going to call him. Let me see if I can get through to him. I've had the amazing opportunity to have, seen him perform, and it knocks your socks off. So let's see if we can hear a little
That's
bit.
what this lunch hour concert on Fridays hope to do. Just knock your socks off. And of course, Mr. Enanga is our resident African.
Yes.
So he is Nigerian by birth.
He's Nigerian, right?
Yeah. He's able to teach the students in a number of ways. He's still very good at engaging the students in multiple ways as well.
Hello, Glenn. Can you hear us?
Hi. Yes, I can. Yes. Sorry,
okay.
I'm in the middle of a class. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Your class started already.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Well, we just wanted to hear a little bit about the concert that you're putting on before we let you go. So can you tell us? Yeah.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
On the show? Oh, great. Okay. Thank you very much, CMR, for having us talk about Black History Month.
Yes.
We're very, very excited. It's something that we really hope will continue in years to come. The concert we're having on Fridays at 12:30, it's upstairs in the music room on UCCI campus. And the idea really is we're going to be having some poetry readings. We're going to have some performances by UCCI students. I'll be performing as well. We're going to be basically trying our very best to just showcase a few of the different genres that perhaps may have been influenced by some of the Black history that we all, might be familiar with. So there'll be some stuff from Jamaica, some stuff from Africa, some stuff from, other influenced parts of the Caribbean, and specifically songs that we feel that sort of tell the story of what our heritage is. And so I'm very excited about it. So like I say, it's going to be a mixture of faculty and students' performances. And that's something which I know people are going to really enjoy. Like I say, it's very carefully, the works being performed are being carefully selected to reflect that. So that's going to be a very interesting showcase for people to come and, enjoy. It's
and
free.
Can anyone
There's no
attend
charge.
that event?
Anybody can attend the event, yes.
Okay.
And most of the events here at UCCI generally have been faculty and staff.
Right.
But, generally, and they've been oversubscribed. We're basically standing room only for our events, which is amazing, which makes me realize it's opened my eyes as to how much people really, really want to talk about this and want to be, educated about this. I myself have been enlightened in ways I never, ever imagined, just by hearing some of the presentations by Dr. Chris Williams, Dr. Stephanie, who's going to be speaking today. We had we had Mr. Roy Bodden. I mean, his thing was completely mind-blowing about the history, Cayman's history in relation to Black History Month. And just talking to students generally and what their views are of what Black History Month means to them has really opened my eyes about, what's happening on the ground in terms of what this generation is going through and what sort of questions they're asking each other. So that for me is something that I get very excited about.
Yes.
Because, this is, as we say, the cold, hard truth.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And Glenn, you're from Africa. You're Nigerian. Is that correct?
Yes, my father is from Nigeria, and my mom is from St. Kitts. So I've got both Afro-Caribbean.
Yes,
Afro-Caribbean.
On my mother's side, I can trace her family back to the first settlers in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Wow,
which
so
is amazing because it's a massive family called the Walwyn family. And they're all scattered all over the globe. But it's really exciting to take a look and to see, even have like Walwyn's Facebook page and just reading the whole, background. It's a very, very interesting thing to see. So yes, we've got that slave history past, of course, from the Caribbean side, but from the African side, obviously, my dad's family all came from Nigeria. They stayed in Nigeria. So I enjoy seeing both sides of the spectrum in terms of it's really very exciting for me from sitting in the middle kind of things. I identify as Nigerian first and foremost because I grew up there and I was born there, but I was raised by a West Indian mother, so I know what it's like to have a West Indian upbringing. So that's generally where my part. So some of the works I'll be performing will be from Nigeria. And some of this, I'll be discussing one or two very brief points about how the colonization of Nigeria has influenced some of the music that has come from there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a very interesting thing that I've done a little bit of research on.
Right. Wonderful. So thank you so much. I know that we interrupted your class, so my apologies for that.
That's fine. I don't think the students will be complaining. So.
Yeah. So again, let's just repeat the time for the concert and where people can come.
12:30.
Okay. On Friday.
On Friday, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone is welcome to come if they can spare the time. We'll find somewhere for you to sit.
Yes.
Or stand.
Wonderful. All right. Sounds fantastic. Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Sandy, for having us on the show. It's very, very, very kind of you. I listen to the shows, listen to it driving in every morning. So
thank you.
I was very excited.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Okay. Congrats. Okay.
All right.
Speak soon.
Thanks, dear.
Bye-bye.
All right, so that's Glenn Inanga. He's assistant professor again, Division Humanities and Social Science. And in his own right, he is an amazing musician. I mean, if he is performing on Friday, you will want to be there just for that. He's part of the Cayman Arts Trust, and he is always involved in the Arts Festival for, as long as I can remember. Award-winning, performers. So please go and check it out. Yeah. Beautiful. Senior lecturer and assistant professor now at UCCI. So that sounds pretty exciting. What else do we have that's coming up that we can share with our listeners this morning?
Okay, so like I mentioned, we have 2 presentations today. We're going to be talking about reparation and the Dutch Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And then my presentation is going to be on African retentions. Why is it we talk the way we talk? Why is it that we believe the things we believe? How is Africanism expressed in our religion, in our language, etc.? So those are the kind of things we're looking at today. On Friday, like I said, which is what we're calling the culmination, we've invited everybody on campus to wear something African, to wear something Black. It doesn't have to be African. If someone wanted, for example, to wear a T-shirt with Bob Marley or Malcolm X or whatever is their expression of that, then we certainly invite that. We're going to be calling it our Wakanda African accessory, and it's a competition. And what has been absolutely amazing is that it was originally meant for the students, but we've had faculty and staff jumping in and saying, oh, I've got to get something African, that we've decided to actually do a prize for that outstanding staff as well, who jumps in wholeheartedly. So what for me is amazing is how this has just taken off. When we came up with the idea, the major aim, we are educators at the center of it all. We wanted to educate our students, but we had so many persons saying, can I be part of this? Even the fashion show for Friday, it's the faculty that was putting this on, but we've had students say, can I walk? Can I be part of this? And that's just amazing to me, because when we started, especially in the courtyard, and said, who's this? What do you know about? It was nothing. And we have students coming back each Friday, engaging, just having a wonderful discussion with us. You mentioned that Mr. Inanga, as am I, we're from the Division of Arts and Humanities and Social Sciences, but we've had the STEM and Health Division join. Last week, they were part of the display. They were talking about Black inventors. You just mentioned the Black female who created the internet or who has been very functional there. We've just been talking about these people. And this Friday, we're having the business division. So everybody's coming on board. We're having the business division. They're going to be talking about leaders in finance and business. We're going to be talking about some of our own persons here in Cayman, as well as those within the region and within the African diaspora. So it's just been wonderful. Honestly, it's really been wonderful.
Wow. And I heard someone just mentioned that I said something about, the invention of the internet, and they had no idea. And I think this is so interesting that so many of us simply don't know a lot of this history, which would make you incredibly proud. I saw also Wayne asking if Glenn was a Black man.
He is.
Yes.
But if I could jump on and just respond to that very quickly. It's not like I said, everybody's on board. It's not for the Black students or for the Black faculty.
Yeah.
I hate to do black white discussions, but we do have
Yes.
Caucasians who are part of the committee. It's about education. Our president, Dr. Robertson, can you get me an African tie? I want to be part of this.
That's what Glenn looks like, just FYI.
So it's really not, and I hope we don't leave with that idea that
absolutely.
it's pro-black or anti anything. It's not. It's education. It's making our students know. It's when we bring up certain discussions in class. Like I teach British literature, and when I talk about the French Revolution, I automatically speak about the Haitian Revolution, but too many of the students can't relate. So it's about educating our students, making them able to have a voice at any table, able to speak to any topic, especially those that are regional. So Mr. Inanda mentioned that our President Emeritus, J.A. Roy Bodden, he was the presenter last week. And what a fabulous outlining of the Cayman history that our Cayman students were not fully cognizant of. The questions that were asked, the discussions, absolutely amazing. It's really just about bringing awareness.
Yes. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much. So we've got the competition. I just pulled up the flyer here for the competition. So anyone who is interested in finding out a bit more about this, they've got different prizes that they're going to be giving away, including an iPad. That's the first place prize. Second place will be some AirPods, pretty good prizes. And third place will be an Amazon Fire tablet. And again, they've got some criteria here on how you can enter. And the deadline is in 2 days. Or no, that's when people will be announced. The deadline, oh gosh, we missed the deadline already.
Like I said, what's our challenge is that exams begin next week. So we have to finish everything. We thought it was prudent then to finish everything by Friday, so our students can focus wholeheartedly on exam preparation.
On their exams. Okay.
Yes, and then next week we also have mid-semester break. So we're trying to wrap it all up, but we've had so many students entered. We expected 5, maybe 10 students. We had more than double that. So the students have been enthusiastic about it. Students have written points. They have just decided we want to be part of this. So it's just, something else that might be interesting for your listeners to know. We've had students whose parents are African or have some kind of African connection. They've offered, can we put together some kind of presentation? Can we share ingredients, or not ingredients, recipes, African dishes? Can we display the African fabric, because there's so much information just based on the African patterns, etc. So even our parents have become involved to a large extent. It's just been heartwarming, honestly. It's really been wonderful.
Yeah, well, wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and certainly for allowing us to get a bit more information on what UCCI has been up to. And, I hope that a lot of people will turn out for Friday's concert and event. And even today, if you've got a little bit of time, is the lectures today, are they closed for UCCI faculty and students only?
We have largely been presenting because the aim was to educate our students, but we've had persons coming in. We've had a few persons come to the presentations. It's at 1 to 2:30 p.m. today in the Cascade Room. So if someone wants to drop in, you are welcome to be part of that. But it's also being live streamed on UCCI TV. So if you were to go to YouTube and type in UCCI TV, I'm sorry, I don't have the exact link. This is something I can send to you afterwards. Then you can certainly join there as well. We've had some students who just can't come in, or BRAC students are involved. They are joining via Teams, or they are joining through live streaming. And we welcome persons to do that as well if they cannot come in. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us and for allowing us to just talk about it and let persons know what's happening here, not just at UCCI, but with our students, with our youth in camp. Really appreciate it.
All right, folks. So that's Dr. Stephanie Fullerton Cooper, Associate Professor for the Division of Humanities and Social Science. And Mr. Glenn Inanga also joined us earlier, and he's also an Associate Professor there at UCCI in Humanities and Social Science as well. So go check it out, folks. Sounds like some excellent opportunities to expand your knowledge base. Thank you, Dr. Stephanie.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, good people. So fantastic. I know that they had classes and other things going on this morning. So I was becoming a little bit concerned when they hadn't yet showed up, thinking, ooh, if they've got class, I know that that's going to be a priority. So if you guys don't know about Glenn Inanga, you should look him up. He's an amazing artist. First of all, he has graduated from Clare College, University of Cambridge, where he did engineering. He is Nigerian born, but like he said, he has a Caribbean mother. So he's got that Caribbean connection. He studied at the Royal Academy of Music in London, where he won several awards, including the prestigious Overseas Research Student Scheme Award. He holds a master's in music degree from the University of London with distinction in piano performance. And he was also elected an associate of the Royal Academy of Music in 2003. He's considered an international concert piano soloist. He has given performances in New York, where he debuted in September of 2000. He performed at the Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. That was what he performed, my apologies, to a capacity audience at the Alice Tully Hall at the Lincoln Center, and he received rave reviews. He's also done, performance piano duos with other award-winning pianists as well. So go check Glenn out. He really has. I think the Cayman Islands is fortunate to have him. He's always involved in the Arts Festival and other performances. And now he is a lecturer at associate professor at UCCI. So yeah, wow. I wonder if he wants to teach Gianna how to play the piano. Definitely way below his skill set, but hey, I fancy one day that she could be this amazing pianist if she wanted to be. She changes her mind every day. She's only 6 years old. Can I be, sometimes she doesn't quite pronounce them right. This weekend she was saying something. And I'm like, what is that? And then she had to tell me what it does. I'm trying to remember what it was now. Oh gosh, I can't remember. But she's so funny. Like one day she's like, can I be an archaeologist? Can I be a nurse? I said, hey, the world is your oyster. You can be anything you would like to be if you put in the work to get there, Mm-hmm. All right. Let's mention a little bit of Black history, because y'all don't seem to know what time it is based on some of the comments that I see coming in. Let me see. Let me pick one or two here for you. Okay, let's do this, gentlemen. Anybody know who he is? Yes? No? Maybe so? All right, so his name, let me pull this one back up, is Moses Fleetwood. He went by the name Fleet Walker. He lived between 1856 and 1924. He was the first and last African-American to play Major League Baseball until Jackie Robinson joined the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947. Wow. So he did it way before the Jackie Robinson, Babe Ruth that y'all know, I suppose. And he was also an inventor. His first patent was for artillery shell in 1891. He registered 3 more patents in 1920 that would make it easier to load and change movie reels. Okay, well done. Let me see who else we got here. I'm going to give y'all some little history today. Women, of course, have left their mark. Wilma Brown, in 1937, she became the first Black woman to obtain a pilot's license issued by the United States. She's beautiful. Yes. Okay. One more, just in case you didn't know. Another beautiful lady. The first self-made female millionaire wasn't Kylie Jenner. It was this woman here, a Black woman. Madam C.J. Walker developed her hair care business out of her own needs, as well as those around her. She spent life traveling the country to introduce proper hair care to African-American women, as well as to sell her own products. And she became the first self-made female millionaire. Oh, my apologies. I think Kylie's trying to claim the billionaire status. Probably not true either. So there you go. You gotta know from when she came, y'all. You really, really have to know. And don't have other people try to tell you who you are. You should know for yourself. I'm just saying. All right. So we'll do a couple more throughout the month. Some amazing firsts literally all over the world. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. History. John says history is to be celebrated because we can learn from our past, which is unchanging. The present is always changing. The future is an elusive probability. History is now. And I think that unfortunately, as is with most things, if you don't know your history and from where you're coming, honestly, your future is probably going to be pretty bleak, because other people will come and rewrite your history if you allow them to, and sometimes they do it and they're not thinking about it, or they just don't care. And so when they make certain statements like there's no such thing as Caymanian food and culture, they don't understand what an amazing insult that is, because they don't know our history. And so they're trying to dictate in 2023 what our history should be. And that's when we have to stop them dead in their tracks and say, hold on a second, honey child. Y'all might not want to eat turtle meat, and you might see an issue with turtling, but that has been a long part of the Caymanian history. Ask her seamen, and they will tell you that they were going to the, what they call it, Mosquito Coast, and they were turtling and doing all that kind of stuff from when. So that's why we love our turtle meat, because historically it has a place in the Cayman Islands, and it's not that easy to give up something that is so intertwined. Miss Dorothy says, interesting. I love it. Wayne is saying he loves him some turtle meat too. You little brat says, if you don't know where you're coming from, it's difficult to know where you're going or where you want to go. That's why even our individual family history, I think, is also so incredibly important for us to learn. All right. So yes, I'll share some more of those, because there are some amazing stories really of successes of our people. We hear enough about the failures, trust me. So to spend 1 month highlighting and talking about some of the success stories, my goodness, really nobody should be complaining about that. Okay, so this interesting situation here with the 3 men who were arrested after trying to evade the Coast Guard and ramming their vessel into the Coast Guard vessel is so interesting, because I think it certainly reminds us that all of our enforcement agencies, they have arrest powers and so on, whether it's Coast Guard, CBC, police, and others, really do put their lives at risk on a regular basis. And we might not appreciate the danger that the Coast Guard is undertaking, and that even border control in general is undertaken. But, these criminals are working extremely hard to make sure that their criminal enterprise is successful. And so anybody who tries to get in their way and who tries to stop them, I dare say you're potentially in the line of fire, and sometimes quite literally. So this is how this went down, that on Sunday, the Coast Guard received information about this vessel being out there. And of course, they went to check it out. And apparently these guys were not going to go down without a fight. What a hot mess. So they decided to try to make a run for it. And at one point, the vessel of interest increased its speed in attempting to evade the CICG vessel, resulting in a chase. And during the chase, the officers on board the Coast Guard vessel observed that a number of packages were being thrown into the ocean. Of course, they're going to do that. They're going to try to unload as much of it as possible. As the Coast Guard began to close the distance between them, the operator of the vessel, who was being followed, tried to run their vessel into the side of the Coast Guard vessel on 3 separate occasions. Wow. This is like excitement on the high seas, honey child. And the vessel was eventually stopped, and the occupants, 3 males, were questioned as to their actions. And during this time, the vessel During this time, the vessel, they were on, yes, began to take on water and eventually sunk. They're lucky the Coast Guard was probably there to help them. But anyway, so they were arrested in suspicion of being concerned with importation and control of drugs into the island and then transported to shore and handed over to the RCIPS. Some of them were taken to the hospital. It says the men were taken to the hospital as they reported having injuries. Child, they lucky. Some other jurisdictions would have been like, injuries, throw you in jail. So it seems like a number of packages were recovered thanks to the Air Operations Unit. So again, this is where, the helicopter comes in handy and where our agencies are working in collaboration with each other. So the Coast Guard is out there in the water. They are a division. Are they still considered a division of the RCIPS? Well, anyway, they certainly work closely with each other. And of course, the RCIPS has access to several helicopters now, and those will assist in the recovery of things like this, as well as the recovery of individuals or even monitoring individuals during an operation. So big shout out to the Coast Guard and the RCIPS for picking at least these three up and bringing them to hopefully what will eventually be justice. The other thing that is really, really interesting is, give me 1 second here. I'm going to pull this one up. We know that the Jamaican officials have been monitoring our waters. Now, only God knows what they were looking for, but it's probably related to drugs, because this went down on Sunday afternoon as well at 2:39 p.m. I got one of my sources said, hey, Sandy, this JDF aircraft is low in our airspace, and I wonder if they're looking for something or looking for someone. Now, that all kind of makes sense in terms of the timing of what was going on. Yes, at this particular time. So this aircraft from the Jamaican Defense Force was having a look at what was happening in our waters. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. I'm calling from HMP Northward.
Oh, yes, honey child.
We had a situation here. One of the Cuban migrants, he's starting to refuse to eat. And he's told the staff already that he's willing to commit suicide. He has attempted suicide previously. And he's told them what's happening with his deportation, because he has requested to be deported. So far, nothing has been done. Several of the other Cuban immigrants have asked to go and sit with him to comfort him and to talk him down and to watch him so that the HMP staff doesn't have to, and they've refused as of yet to do so. And
so how is he, okay, let me ask you a question. How is he trying to commit suicide? By starving himself to death?
No, he has his shoelaces, and he also has his bed sheet. He can hang himself. He also has razors where he can cut himself. And he has attempted before in Cuba and here at IDC because of the conditions, how they're treating them. They're not telling them what's happening, what's going on, what are they doing to them. When are they just don't tell them anything. They're just keeping them in the dark.
So he wants to go home.
Correct.
Is what he says.
He's put in his paperwork over 2 weeks ago, and nothing has been done yet.
But what paperwork is that? Because I understand. Oh, he has to fill out paperwork to be deported?
Correct. He wrote a letter stating that he would love to be deported back to Cuba. And so far, nothing's been done. He's been kept in isolation from everyone.
Oh, gosh.
And from everyone. He can't even talk to other people. And when they send officers to him, none of the officers understand him because he speaks Spanish.
And I'm guessing he probably only speaks Spanish, really.
Correct.
So
he just has
Northward doesn't have any but they only have 2 Cuban prisoners, right? In Northward at the moment?
No, ma'am. They have several. They have close to 8 Cuban immigrants seeking political asylum.
So this is at Northward, not Fairbanks.
No, not at Fairbanks. This is at Northward Prison. HMP, yes, ma'am. They have them separated in wings, and they don't have them doing classes. They were doing classes to learn English, and Northward Prison staff had stopped them from taking English classes. They were better than English so they can defend themselves properly, and they stopped that because I don't know why. They never gave them a reason why.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Well,
So they've
that's
stopped them from all movements going from the gym to at least to de-stress themselves so they don't become so stressed out. They've stopped them from doing classes so they don't defend themselves. They've restricted them completely.
Now, does that have anything to do with the outbreak of the chicken pox, you think, or did this stop before the chicken
No, ma'am.
pox?
This stopped before the chicken pox. Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, what a
And
situation.
they have the ones with chicken pox. They have them in the back already isolated in a separate wing, an isolation wing. But
Yes.
all of them are wondering what's happened to this Cuban because they know him and they know he has PTSD from his military training and everything as well. I mean, he does have a mental. So I don't know if they're equipped to handle it, or if they even want to handle it at all.
Yeah.
But they're like nonchalant about the whole situation.
Yes. Well, I think if he wants to leave, I think unfortunately what happens is it's not entirely on us because we have to go through a process with the Cuban government, and I'm sure they're in no hurry to take them back. But they have to make sure that they identify the individuals before.
I'm sorry, ma'am. The officers are taking me off the phone. If you need a phone call, give me. Yeah, I'm on the phone, dude.
Oh my gosh.
I'm on the phone.
They're trying to take the phone from him because they don't allow them to call me. Apparently, they have all my numbers blocked. I'm surprised he could call this one. Trying to listen in. Oh, I hope he doesn't get in trouble. There they go. They hung up the phone. Why can't they call the talk show? I mean, let's be real now. They get credits and they should be able to call whoever they want. Yes, he's calling from prison. It's not the first time prisoners have called us, by the way. They called us last year, and after last year, they cracked down on the prisoners. And I know for a fact that they blocked all of my numbers, but we always have more than one number, honey child, that they can reach us on. So that's unfortunate because some prisoners be like, "Oh, Miss Sandy," they through their family members, they send me messages, and they tell me what's going on in prison, and that they want to talk to me, and they can't because the prison has blocked all of my numbers. I used to get phone calls all the time from prisoners. Let me tell you the truth. And they would tell me what's going on in the prison. That's how we know a lot of the shenanigans going on over there. But yes, they have blocked a lot of my access point, a lot of the numbers. So I was surprised that he got through this morning, honey child. So now we know that there's a situation there with at least one Cuban individual who he has said is suffering from PTSD and is suicidal. Them prison officers, not easy. They probably sitting there listening to the show and be like, wait a minute. He said he's calling from prison. Let's find him real quick. Where is he talking on the phone? And you saw how quick they got to him and shut off the phone call. Poor thing. RD says they want to keep their dirt undercover. Dominique says that's a cool hard truth. No freedom of speech. Yes. That's not tolerated in prison. I think it's wrong, Sandy. So do I. I think that they should be able to call if they want to call. And this gentleman, as you all can see, was very respectful. He's sharing what he sees as a problem that isn't being addressed. And so now, we have some questions because I want to know, there are a couple of things that he said that would bother me. And let me be very, very frank. I want to say this. Actually, I ran into some Cubans last week by the court on Thursday when I was there waiting on Tiffany to evade the media. And they were very, very gracious. Here's the thing, right? Everyone deserves to be treated with a minimal, whatever the minimal standard is, and it should be a standard of respect and dignity, regardless of where they're coming from. Now, respect is earned. So when some of them start to get belligerent and whatever, I'm like, okay, now you need the strong hand of the law to deal with you. But we can't judge everyone with a singular brush. We can't say, oh, all Cubans are this way. All West Bayers are this way. All Jamaicans are this way. All Caymanians are like this, or all men are like this, or all women are like this. No, you give people an opportunity to show you who they are. And so people have a right to be treated, fairly. I don't understand how they have them in prison. I was going to get to this question. I wasn't sure if this guy knew, because ironically enough, when we put up the story a couple days ago about the 2 Cubans that have chickenpox, I said to the acting director, how many Cubans do you have in Northward? And he said 2. So I'm surprised to hear that there's more. Now, maybe he was referring to 2 that have been incarcerated, but the other 2 are, but I mean, if they're in Northward, they're in Northward, right? I mean, that's a lockup facility. So I'm a little bit confused now about how he said there's 8 of them and what's really going on. So does the prison themselves not even know how many Cubans they have in there? And how can you have Cuban prisoners who don't speak any English and you don't have guards who speak Spanish? I'm curious as to how you communicate with them. Clearly, there's no communication happening. This guy is suicidal. He's trying to kill himself with, what did he say? A shoestring and something else? Please, we don't need that on our hands. Expedite his application. Deputy Governor, can we please expedite this man's application? If he wants to leave, and we've all said let's do that with all of them, to be quite frank, because they are coming in the wrong way, and that is what we don't appreciate. If he wants to leave, can we find out exactly who he is this morning? He's expressed an interest, according to this prisoner. He's indicated he wants to leave. Can we ensure that he's on the next plane that's out of here? So we see that our government has finally been sending them back. I think that that's fantastic. That's great. That's the protocol that's in place. So that's why we're following that protocol. So this guy wants to be at the top of the list. He wants to go back to Cuba. Now, things got to be really bad when you're volunteering to go back, honey child. Northward, not easy. Not a walk in the park. So if he wants to go back, let him go back. We should call Bernie. Do you think Bernie knows what's going on with this situation? Well, he is their elected official, so why not? Give me a second, Alejandro. I like how you're thinking this morning. He is our elected official, so let's see if he has a clue. I don't know if he will or not, but let's give Mr. Bernie a call this morning. Let me see. Because I think he's in charge. He is in charge of prison. I think that he should, if he doesn't know, he's going to find out this morning what a hot mess going on over there. Who's Mr. Wong? All right, no answer from him. Let me see now. Anybody else that we can call? Can we call France? France normally answers the phone. Let me see. Because I think that France Manderson, the deputy governor, is extremely knowledgeable about the process. So I'm going to ask him if there's a way, if someone wants to go back, they're volunteering to be at the top of the list. Why hasn't he gone back yet? Nobody answering this morning.
You have reached the voicemail box of
Alejandro says this reminds me of when I call him. Hold on now. I'm going to call from my other number because it does make a difference if they see me calling versus a number they may not recognize. Let me try again. Is it a prison issue or a border control issue? That's the other question I have. Who's in charge of the repatriation process for the Cubans? I'm sure it's not really prison. They're just holding them there. But I'm confused about, maybe they're all busy this morning. They having some kind of high-level government meeting that we don't know anything about. I'm a little bit concerned, though, about, let me see if, I'll get some answers here from anybody. Anybody willing to answer the phone? So the problem, this person says, is that the government of Cuba, when a person arrives here, they're informed of their names and that's it. However, the Cubans who wish to return have to wait until Cuba agrees to accept them back, and they have no right to simply return. And this is the problem, because I think what is actually happening, and that's right, we've been explaining that before. I think also what is happening is a lot of them are traveling without any proper documentation. And I can't believe that you would even get on an inky-dinky boat without some form of government-issued ID. I mean, if you fall overboard and something happens to you, have it strapped to yourself so people can actually identify who you are. And so that, in fact, is also part of the problem. What a mess. Ay. All right, so can't reach anybody. Who's Joey? Who's Joey Scott? Oh, he's border control. He's head of border, but no, Charles Clifford is head of border control. But who's Joey? He deals with the Cubans. Oh, all right. Let's see if we can give him a call. I doubt he's going to have anything to say. When the lower down the totem pole you go, the less they're going to say. Sports Day. Everybody's at Sports Day. Okay. About answering this morning, boy. What a hot mess. Someone says that they may be all at Sports Day. Who's having Sports Day today? This other person says, wish you well if he answers you. Lord have mercy. Good morning. This Cuban situation is dire. They must deport them immediately. We know nothing about them and they suffer from different ailments. We must do what's best for us. Yes, everyone should be treated respectfully. That's why they must be dealt with immediately, as this mess can quickly get out of hand. Remember, they are at the hands of guards. Speaking of updates, one thing I do want to clarify is we had a caller yesterday who was inquiring, asking us to look into the situation with the Russian Canadian guy who was caught with the firearms because they heard that he had left the jurisdiction. And this rumor was going around because I received a few more calls in relation to it yesterday. And I'm happy to report that he has not gone anywhere yet. Normally how they do it is they go through the courts to get the passport back, because it would be very difficult for him to leave without a passport. He had to hand in even his expired passport. Apparently he holds like 3 different passports. So this is how it will go down. I hope the courts are paying attention, because the last time they did it, the person absconded the jurisdiction and never came back. So this is how it goes down. They come and claim that, oh, my long lost granny is sick in Russia or Canada, and I have to return for a quick trip. First trip, they test the waters. They go. The court says you have to be back or we'll issue an international warrant for your arrest. And they come back. Now these judges and magistrates been hoodwinked, and they come a second time. Oh, something else has come up. The earthquake in Syria. My aunt lives in Syria. This is how they're going to play it. And the court goes, oh, Lord have mercy, but we want you to go visit your aunt in case she might have a heart attack and die. So they give you another chance to go off and again. And that's the time now that they do not return. That's how they normally do it. Miss Esme says that Bernie has not answered a call in almost 2 years. Oh my God. Miss Esme, you're killing me, child. You're killing me. Lord, save it for election time, which will be here before you know it, because they better not start answering any calls then. Oh, don't worry. We going to be waiting on them, honey child. Woo, I need to put a little election folder together with all of my notes and everything and all the candidates. So when they come out talking foolishness, I'd be like, okay, let me pull your track record of non-performance and not answering your phone call, sir. Let me pull your track record of sending out photos of your man parts that nobody really wants to see. Let me pull your track record of those salacious videos you've been sharing that have been circulating. That's where it's going to be, Miss Esme. Wow. So they can't send a picture and a so-called name and confirm if the liars or not a liar is as good as a thief. Alejandro, I'm confused by that one. A picture is not enough. I mean, send a picture of someone doesn't mean you can identify who they are. Mr. Delroy says you should have a constitutional lawyer to call for those questions on human rights. Oh, where is Mr. Steve Macfield this morning? Oh, yes. Let's see if we can give him a ring-a-ding-a-ling, because he knows a thing or two about this as well. Perhaps he can assist us this beautiful Wednesday morning. Oh, it's a Joanna Clark Sports Day today. Nobody answering today, honey child. Nope. Wow. I wonder if the premiere is at Sports Day. Are they all like literally there? Where is everybody? No, sir. Oh my gosh. This person says, why can't MPs be fired? Any other employees would be terminated for not performing. The Cayman Islands operates on hashtag double standards. Well, honey child, your opportunity to fire them will come. And I think we should have powers in between, but it's very difficult to remove them beforehand. But don't you worry, because 2025 is right around the corner. That will be here, God's willing, and we're all going to be here for it before you know it. And ooh, honey child, we need to fire quite a few. I already told you, West Bay, I have a lot of firation going on. McKeeva Bush fired. He claims he's not running again. Kathy Wilkes, you getting termination letter too. Sorry, because the people need to know the truth. Bernie Bush, fired. Andre Ebanks, he's the only one that will not be fired out of West Base 4. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. Take it or leave it. He's the only one that's not getting fired so far. Enough for them. Gonna get fired. Make them sit there. They think they're hoodwinking the people, but they're not fooling nobody. Good morning, caller.
Morning, cuz.
Yeah. How are you?
Not bad, cuzzy.
Well, tell me what going on.
I have an answer for the person who asked how come you can't fire politicians. Yesterday, I was on this really boring subject about one man, one vote in single member constituencies, right? And we were told that, if you do this, you have accountability. My point yesterday was that no, that doesn't give you accountability. It just identifies the person who should be held accountable. But it's not going to hold the person accountable. That's the job of the public. And if the public fails to hold politicians accountable, they will not be held accountable. The answer to the question of why can't politicians be fired? During the 2008 constitutional review, when I recommended that we put in the Constitution a provision to be able to recall politicians, the public paid no attention. They didn't support it. But that is the reason why you can't fire politicians. Because the public failed to do their part to put a mechanism in law that allowed you to hold politicians accountable. And I want to emphasize this because you get on the radio each day, and in various ways you hold people accountable.
I do my best, honey chill. Cousin Danny.
The point I'm making is that there's not a mechanism in law that's just you just put it on remote control and politicians will be held accountable. That doesn't exist. It is each one of us playing our part on a daily basis that's going to hold politicians accountable. Nothing else. So take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, do you support the power, the right of the people to recall a politician, aka fire a politician? Because if you don't, then you're not interested in holding politicians accountable. That's the bottom line. On a separate note, I heard the talk about the Black History Month. I think I understand why the terminology is used for historical reasons for it, but it causes me to ask this question. Is there one race or separate races?
Well, obviously separate races.
And in other words, the account that Adam and Eve were the two first humans is inaccurate.
I don't know that, but having said that, you do appreciate that although you might be a Christian, there are many people around the world who are not. I don't think Christianity is the biggest religion in the world any longer. And so there'll be people who don't necessarily believe that version of events in terms of how we got started from Adam and Eve. I'm just saying.
Okay, so in other words,
so your question about
separate. So they're separate races then. We didn't originate from.
Well, I mean, let's assume that was even true, right? And that we originated from two individuals. Certainly, you look around the world and you see people of different ethnicity and races now as we stand, and that has been the case for a long time.
And
so nobody's going to go back millions of years and say that, well, we're all eventually connected to, a singular ancestry. And so therefore, we've not been separated by race and color and all these other things over the years that have divided people greatly.
Okay, well, I believe that we are of one race, not separate races. We are of one race. And the terminology of black and white, it doesn't really exist. We're all shades of one color. And this has to do with the degree of melanin that we have in our skin. And it is a subject that I think is important to examine as we think about Black History Month, because I recognize what is being said fairly. But to not look at it and examine, are we one race or not, is to not look at the subject comprehensively. And I don't intend to protract the conversation any further than that today.
Okay. All right, my dear.
Bye.
So we have a situation on our hands where people, there's an employer who is up to the most ridiculous behavior, but the employees are afraid of speaking out because he's threatening them about immigration and this and that. And listen, this is how it works on the platform because they want me to help them. I cannot help you if you're not in a position to help yourself, right? If you share your story and then you tell me, oh, I can't share your story, but I must somehow address this. That is not how the process works. That's not how it works. I need to talk about the details of what, is going on. So I don't necessarily have to mention names, but I still have to talk about what you said and the allegations. What a mess. I'll have to understand how this works. I can only help you up to a certain point, right? But you have to be unafraid. And listen, these people work and operate on the basis of fear. This man has no power over you. He tells you that because you're from halfway around the world. That's why they love foreign workers. Yeah. And they want to believe that they could hoodwink you into giving up every single right. Let's see. You've got to stop letting people take advantage of you because these people will do so. If you permit them to do so, they will do so. My goodness. So I did get a response from Mr. Manderson. He said that he's actually in a security meeting. So that's probably why I'm not going to be able to reach certain people. So sad. All right, let's try to make a phone call this morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Kurt.
Mm-hmm.
Morning. Sandra Hill here. How are you?
Good.
Wanted to give you a call because I've been receiving a number of complaints about your facility. And so I don't really, they're very serious complaints. So let me tell you what the allegations are, and I guess you can then tell us if you're able to do anything about the situation. So persons who have worked for you in the past and who currently worked for you are saying that they are now 3 months in arrears, that you've not been paying them. Salary is 2-3 months behind, that they're always getting excuses for why they can't be paid, not receiving any benefits, that you're purposely now hiring people from overseas in order to try to circumvent individuals, potentially knowing that you're not a good employer there at Royale Medical, that you're, hiring people who don't even have a valid work permit, who are working from home, and they don't have the requisite work permit and legal permission to be able to work for you in the first place. And that this has now become a vicious cycle. You can tell me what's going on here.
Okay, Ms. Sandra. Let me explain something to you.
Okay.
And I'm a new businessman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I try desperately. When I say desperate, I mean extremely desperately, because I used to work at Trinke, and I know what it is. But at the end of the month, I don't have get paid, right? So I try desperately to employ people to get doctors to help the company make some money so I can pay. And that the company going through excessive problem. You employ people, especially doctors who come and say, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It never happened. We offer big salary to doctors so we can get into work. Sandra, it just never happened.
Let me ask you a question, right? Because I think this. I'm glad that you mentioned that you had worked at another facility before, because
Right.
I think the biggest problem, and I've actually said this to people, just generally speaking about businesses. Sometimes you're in an organization and you're working as like a lab technician, even a doctor, right? And you don't understand or appreciate the business side of things. And you have to admit that the business side of even running a medical facility or medical office is very, very different than being a lab technician or even a physician.
Yes.
Right?
I agree with you 1,000,000%.
So maybe you got in over your head and you were not appreciating that a lot of the other things that you were complaining about, even with Trinke running their operations, now you're in that seat as the head of this business. And now you get it. Now you get all of the expenses. Medical equipment is not cheap. All these things.
Yeah. The difference.
But you can't hire people. Here's the bottom line. You cannot hire people and not know how you're going to pay them. You can't be like, oh, I'm hoping money is going to come in. When you enter into a contract, and if you say, I'm going to pay you $2,500 a month, whether money is coming in or not, you have a legal obligation to pay that person the $2,500.
I know. Trust me, I know, Sandra. I know. I'm not making an excuse. I just in a situation where, I'm trying my best. Okay, so just for the last couple of months, right? We have doctors come and we say, okay, the salary is X amount. You have to produce X amount in order to maintain a salary and maintain the clinic. These things never happen, right? So the struggle is always on me to try to find to pay, right? Which I try. I try to get money tomorrow. Nobody will lend. So I continue to struggle. Right now, Sandra, I reduced down to one doctor. Reason being, all the people I have around me. Let's for an example, this last complaint. Somebody said, I had 3 people. Collection, Rosaris come for collection. Alu come for claims. And there was another one, right? We have a lot of money outstanding. Sandra, I learn a lot. And it's hard and it's stressful. And I think you hit the nail right on the head. I should have get more understanding before I went into the business. I kind of think that if I have the doctors and then produce, I will have enough to pay. I didn't realize that, reality and what in your head is 2 different things, right?
And it's very.
Wait, let me just finish. So just so you understand the point, it's not a case where I don't want to, right? I employed 2 people recently. We have outstanding. Apart from Eileen that stole $150,000 from me, the girl at the front, like a Filipino. She stole me to steal from me left, right, and center, right? That also pushed me down. The rest that is outstanding now. We have like 300 and something.
So let me ask you a question. You've accused her of stealing from you. You've made a police report about that theft?
Yes, ma'am. We make police report. I go to police.
She's been arrested?
She's been arrested. And the case get dropped along the way because they wanted me now to get some not get dropped. It just she slowed for like a while. I still need to go back to them. But she stole a lot from me. And so what is outstanding now, I call Rosaris. She's a collection. I say, Rosie, come and help me to collect all this outstanding money. With the outstanding, I can pay up all of who I have outstanding. Rosie come and she go, say, like 3 months. Was here September, October, November, right? She do 3 months. At the end of December, they all leave, right? Them all leave me in the same situation and come and find me. And these people now come and said, I need to pay. I said, yes, I will pay, but your purpose of coming is to help me to collect, to pay. Sandra, I'm telling you, from the depth of my heart, I am not here trying not to pay people. It's just difficult because the money not coming in. I hear you, on the radio and you hit me left, right, and center, but it's not a case that I don't want to. The money is there to be collected. They come, so them will help me, and then didn't.
So
I still end up with it.
maybe what I'm hearing you say, because you were in court recently, where again you had hired a physician, and even after you said that you were going to pay, and again, you have to understand the position that you're putting people in, right?
Yeah,
so
no, I understand. No, I understand perfectly. I understand perfectly, because this is not a situation I want it to be in. So I know perfectly what it is. But I'm trying my best, even with that one that I went in court with. Oh my goodness, that was a whole story by itself, right? We tried our best to work with that. This lady's sick every time. She gone over her time, and that's why we end up in this situation with her now. She have issues, right? She have medical issues, and she take all of her time, 1 month off plus all the other time. And December, she still take the whole of December off after she already take 1 month off. And then she come in January 1, and then she said, I need to pay her for all. And I said, look, how can I pay you for all this time where you already take? You already wasn't making enough money for the company. Already way behind with you. She barely was making our regular salary. And then after she take off. But this is the problem, is because I'm not a doctor. People abuse my kindness and then step and walk over me. And that's the situation I'm going through all the time. I already spoke to the labor board, right? And I let them know that I will try my best.
But why would you let me ask you a question here, right? Even with this Dr. Tamika Irons, okay, you promised her a certain salary, and basically not a single month did she ever get that salary, right? And then when she made a complaint to the Department of Labor and Pensions, you then said, all right, I'm going to pay you the arrears of like $7,000, whatever. This woman is saying she's about to lose her place. She can't make her card payment. So the individual people are being put in a worse predicament. They're about to be kicked out of their homes and their apartments and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so you promised to pay her, even when DLP got in, and even at that point in time, you didn't do it. Like, I'm not really understanding the logic here, because I think what you need to do is you need to shut down this business, if I'm going to be honest with you. Because you cannot continue to break the immigration laws, the pension laws, the labor laws. You can't continue to hire people and not pay them, because you're putting them in an impossible situation. And these are foreign nationals that you're hiring who are coming from overseas. So not only are they having to live and survive in Cayman, but a lot of them actually have family members that are relying on their support and assistance as well. You understand what I'm saying? So put yourself in their shoes for a second.
Yeah,
right?
Trust me, Sandra. I know. I try.
Then you've got to stop. So if that's the case, tell me, when was the last time you hired someone? Come and just say you hire somebody this week. Why are you still hiring people if you cannot pay the people that you have hired before?
No. Okay. So the situation, Sandra, with the hiring. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the one of the girls that I have now, right? When she came, that's Alu. When she came, our conversation was, okay, she needs 5,000 something salary, right? I said to Alu, all right, let's do the salary, but these are the things I'm expecting from you, right? So at the time, she agreed. Oh, I will be here. I'll come in. I'll do this. I'll do that. She'll be at the front. She'll be helping the front. She'll be helping the nurse. She'll be helping all these people. As soon as the permit come in, Sandra, she come 1 or 2 times, and she start to work from home. She start to work from home. Nobody keeping any tracks on it. When I call Alu, I say, Alu, what is it? Why you not in the office? Oh, she having a situation, and when she want to cry, she don't want to be crying at the office. I say, Alu, that wasn't the conversation we had. You're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be helping the front desk. You're supposed to be helping that. And when I said to her, okay, you need to come. I said, okay, take a week or whatever it is, sort yourself out and come back in. She never come back. This is from December thing. She never come back in the clinic. When the staff itself call her asking her stuff. They are being told that she's not doing this, she's not doing that, she's not doing that. Right? I tried calling her, no response. She come one day. I said to her, hello, okay, let's try and pay. I will try and pay you whatever about, which I started doing. I started to pay our outstanding. So I actually do for 1 month. That's why I started doing some transfer working. No response from Alu. Okay, this girl come
All right,
along.
let me pause you right there, right? Because this is the general consensus that you are complaining about every single person, yet you are the common denominator, and you are the reason why people are not getting paid.
How is it me?
What do you mean, how is it you? You're promising people a salary and you're not paying them. That is against the law.
Yeah, Sandra, I know, and that's
but
why
you can't say that you know and then come up with all of these excuses as to why you're not fulfilling your obligation. And every single person you hire is a problem. That means that you have some poor hiring practices.
I never say that.
Okay, tell me something.
I never say.
Dr. Sadia Malik, what happened with her?
Dr.
Yes.
That's a long story.
That's a long right. It's a long story because again, she invested in the business. This is what she said. She's left without her money. 3 months she didn't get paid for. When she's asking you about her money, you tell her she's not going to get her money because she's overseas. There's nothing that she can do.
No.
Are you? Let me ask you another. Let me ask you a question. Kurt, I need you to be honest with me today. Kurt, I want you to be honest with me. Let me ask you this question. Are you threatening your staff that if they go to the Department of Labor and Pensions or WRC and complain about you, they're going to get kicked off this island because apparently you know somebody up in immigration in this place and that place? Have you told your staff that?
Sandra, if you tell me one,
it's a yes or no answer.
No. Yeah, wait. It's a no. I've never done that. But if you can tell me,
because your staff are accusing you of intimidation and scaring them and saying these types of things to them as well.
Seriously?
Yes.
No, man. That is not true.
Well, they say they have messages from you. They have messages from you, Kurt. I'm wondering what is going on here.
No.
And they're accusing you of other very, very serious allegations, including insurance fraud. You see, this is, listen, I have a philosophy. If you're doing wrong, you need to, number one, stop it. And number two, keep a low profile. Because the second you start to, people start to talk about you and you start to get exposed, everything comes out. So they're even talking about the nature of the claims that you put in. And these insurance companies need to look very, very closely at the claims that you're putting in for them. They're talking about sexual harassment. Some physicians, well-respected physicians, female physicians, have left because they say that you have sexually harassed them in the workplace. The list is growing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The list is growing.
I don't believe this.
Listen, I am telling you, for a very, very long time, I have been receiving complaints and I've been waiting for you to get your act together because you've been in business for a minute. I was there trying to help you at the onset. You said you want to set up this business, blah, blah, blah. You want to be different than Trinke. According to you, Trinke owes everybody under the sun. But in fact, you're no different than Trinke, and I would argue that you're far worse.
Sandra, don't say those things.
My God, I'm only telling you the truth.
No, man, don't say those things to me.
But
that's not true.
But it is the truth.
No,
Kurt,
it is not.
I am telling you, Sandra, from the observations and the people that are talking to me, I am shocked that your name keeps coming up on my radar. And I'm quite frankly sick and tired of hearing your name. You need to do better or shut down the business. If you cannot do it, let me tell you something. Running a business is not an easy endeavor. And you've taken on one of the most difficult businesses to be in. The medical profession and the restaurant business, very, very difficult businesses. It's not for everybody. Cut your losses and admit that this is not for you. It's as simple as that. Because your debt keeps raking up and you keep owing people all of this money. And then you're hiring people without a work permit to work from home and you don't think that information is going to get to me?
No, Sandra, I don't believe people doing it. Oh, people can be so malicious. The same
Really?
girl.
Why would all
Yes.
these people have a desire to be malicious against
my
you?
goodness,
Because on the face of it, you're a very nice
you know,
person. Nobody not got no reason to be malicious towards you unless it's truth that the people them speaking.
Wait, Sandra, but trust me, this is more than I can bear. The
Well,
board
the good Lord say he not gonna give you more than you can bear. But I suggest that you look at your business model and recognize what's not working.
That's what we're doing. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Well, you need to shut down the business and stop hiring people in the interim.
No. We can't shut down.
Well, then you need to pay people.
What we're doing, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
No, man, you can't say that and people gone 3 months without pay.
And that's why I'm at this point where half of the people them that was here, we're trying to restructure. The same girl that them accused is they're the one who bring that girl here. We put the work permit in and we're waiting it to come through.
Here,
the girl is not here.
There is a general consensus that you need to shut down your business because you have no clue what you're doing. The people them say even look at your job adverts, which I haven't looked at. There is a lot of complaints about you, and it's from all over the place. You understand what I'm saying? It's not 1, 2 people. It is everybody that has ever worked for you has a problem. So you need to sort this out. And sorting it out doesn't mean, I'm going to hire another doctor who I'm not going to be able to pay and add that to the long list of doctors and PAs and nurses and all these people who've not been paid. You can't keep doing that over and over again. Clearly that method ain't working for you, right? Hiring people and say, I need you to come in and start earning enough money for me to pay all my outstanding debt and then some, and also pay you a salary. It's not working. So if it's not working, why do you keep doing it? It's madness.
To be honest with you, when I started, I really and truly think that, certain things will happen. You have this big dream and you think that all these things would happen. So you a little, yes, initially, yes, we get a little over, head over heel over certain things. And hence I realized after a while, because even the girl at the front that, was stealing, it's a matter of,
So everybody come and steal from you. You sure they're not stealing from you?
No, not everybody.
You sure they're not stealing in order to get their money back?
No. This is that she used to get her salary. So it's not having anything to do with that. She used to get her pay at the end of the week. This is the receptionist. She used to get her pay at the end of the week, and she was stealing at least $300-400 every day. And you see, things like that is my fault. I agree, because you leave people, you trust them to do them work, and them was doing it. The accounting section, I didn't have an accountant. So is, what you give and what you show, I used to do, and that's what I put in the back. It used to go on for a little while until I realized that something is wrong. And it's only then we realized how much I was stealing. That pushed me back a little. But I didn't make an excuse with that. But
and when was that? When was that theft? When was that?
That was like 2 years ago, in November. As a matter of fact, the amount of people who call me say I should call and tell you. But yeah, that is in. I filed that report with the police, 2021. Yeah, I think it's 2021. Yeah.
And I don't see nobody in court for you yet. But what I do know was in court was you, from January 2021, not paying this doctor her money. You agreed to pay her. You see, it is very, very difficult to understand and to believe what you're saying, Kurt, because I have to look at the situation objectively, right? One person now has managed to take you to court from a criminal perspective for non-payment. You're promising DLP that you'd pay their arrears. You see what I did, Kurt, is I sat down and I read the file. I saw what you said to DLP. I saw what this poor physician said in terms of what she was going through. And this is very, very egregious what you were doing to people.
Okay, so I know
your reputation precedes you, and it is not a good reputation.
Oh, my goodness. let me tell you what happened with Dr. Irons and the payment. Okay.
All
There's two of us in
all
this
I know
business.
is you promised to pay, you promised her a salary, you never paid that and had her in arrears. Every month, partial payment, this, that, and the next thing. She finally decided to take you to the DLP's office, filed a complaint with pension and labor. Then you told pension and labor, oh, yes, 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 you're going to pay it by a certain date. That date came and went, and you never paid it yet again.
Okay. So this is what happened with that. And
it was only when the prosecution took you to court.
And John, what happened with that to say is, Thomas. Thomas was the other person in charge, was doing that part of the
Everybody, Kurt, listen to me. All I can hear right now is everybody is to blame but you. There's something wrong here. Everybody thieving from you. Everybody not doing their job. They're not collecting money. They're not this, they're not that. And yet, let me be very, very frank. There are people who say that you living big time life, driving a red Mercedes, parked at front of the business, and your bill's getting paid.
That's what people tell us, Sandra.
Yeah. Well, do
Sandra,
you have a red Mercedes parked outside the building?
That car I have from Chinke.
Well, it doesn't
Sandra,
matter,
want me to tell you something?
right? Your bill's still getting paid.
No.
Your bill's not getting paid?
It is not. No.
The bank coming for your house?
You want me to show you the email? I can send you the email.
Email of what?
From the bank.
Oh, they're coming for you too.
Okay.
So what I'm now saying to you is that means that what you have going on at Royale Medical is really a shit show, and you need to shut it down.
And every dime I get inside here, I use it to pay bills and to pay people. Every dime. Ask my wife. She cursed me every day because she said the money that we make not going to she. We not having anything. I had to take my son out of private school and put in a public school because I'm trying to make the business work. It's difficult for me, and I'm trying my best to I try this thing. I want it to work. I don't want to give up and throw down and go about my business. I'm trying, Sandra. I'm trying to make it work. Right now, I gone right down to bare staff in order to regrow and to, fix some of the mistakes that was made. I don't want to have to pull up and throw down. I'm trying, Sandra, understand. It's like a business I started, like a dream. I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I agree. But I'm trying now to fix that mistake so I can have a business. I'm trying. I really am trying.
What I'm telling you is, how many years have you been in business now?
It's just the third year.
Yes. What I'm telling you is it's not working. You honestly need to come out the business. I'm going to give you, from one business owner to the next, I'm going to give you some advice. This is not working.
Tell me how to fix it. Don't tell me to give up.
Sometimes the only way to fix it is to shut it down. Kurt, listen to me. I am a business owner, and there are times when you have to understand the magnitude of what you were in. How many people you owe money to?
Just the staff.
It's just the staff. But how many people is that? It's too many people. You'll never get caught up.
That's just
the hole keeps getting deeper and deeper. Oh, it can't work. It cannot work. It can't work. I can't give you any advice from what I know and what I've seen as a situation, whether or not, you can recover this. I don't see it working.
I don't believe people that accuse me of sexual harassment. I don't believe that.
I'm telling you, sir, there is nobody trying to be malicious against you. And the fact that you can't see the truth for what it is, I think is also problematic.
It's not. No, I would be the first person to admit, but when somebody accused of something like sexual harassment, Sandra.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you that story, right? That person who's accusing you of that would not even come to me because she is so ashamed. She's going to other trusted friends and people that she can trust. And then the story eventually gets to me. I have every reason to believe that maybe you're not being cognizant of your behavior. You need to take it under advisement that your behavior leaves a lot to be desired. These women are not interested in you in that way. And so when you approach them with sexual talk and wanting to be in relationships with them and this and that, when they're under your employment, that is the very definition of sexual harassment. So I think, like I said, I don't see how you recover the situation. I really don't. I don't see it. What's your plan? You tell me what your plan is going to be, since you think it can be, it can work.
Okay, so this is a plan, Sandra. This is a plan. Okay, I realize that I have head over heels this time. One of the biggest situation I had was too many staff, and I have all these people that I think would do this and would do that and would do this, and it just never happened. At the end of the month, I have a whole heap of salary to pay. If I can just give you a figure, before my salary at the end of the month, like $80-something thousand. All the people I owe and all the salary I have, and this is just salary. Now there is.
And have you been paying pension and health insurance? Because you wasn't paying that for this doctor that took you to court. So are you sure you're paying that for staff?
Well, the only thing we just started paying back was the pension, but everything else was paid. Everything
but pre-COVID, before you got that little reprieve, were you up to date with those things?
Yes, Sandra, we're up to date with all of the pension.
Okay, well, I mean, you wasn't up to date with a respected physician. So now you have to understand why I would ask you the question. Because if a physician comes to you and you're not going to pay her benefits knowing who she is, I kind of doubt you're going to pay it for the ones lower down the totem pole as well. So if all of them call now, they can have current insurance policies that have been paid and their pension up until the COVID thing would have been paid as well. That's what you're telling me?
All of them. The only ones we're doing now is the ones and the people that is here now. And those are the ones we're working on now. I just spoke to the pension office just a couple of days ago. Well, we're reinstating these people who, our new staff to the pension and the health insurance and all them things. So as I was saying, the restructuring is what I'm doing now, Sandra. They all the staff that I think I didn't need, we don't need. We get rid of, we roll back, right? Now, my salary thing is like 30-something. And I'm trying to get it down lower, from 80 yard to 30 yard. I'm trying to get it down lower. The fact is that my overhead was just too much. I bring it all the way down. So that's what we're looking into, and it's not me alone. I have somebody else helping me to look into it. To see all the things that.
What about if you sell the car? I mean, I don't know how much you'd get for that, but that might help pay off some debt.
The bank on the car.
So you're not paying off the car yet?
That's some trinket days.
And you still haven't paid it off?
It's the bank. The bank gave me 5 years to pay it.
Lord
I
Jesus.
took that out from my was a trinket. Nothing. Listen, I'm here 3 years. I'm on this island 23 years. There's nothing I get from this place. This place just start.
Well, but sir, that's how businesses work, That is how businesses work. You're not going to make any money in the first 5 years, but you have to know that you can meet your financial obligations. And paying your staff is a financial obligation.
I know.
You think anybody else is going to want to work from you? That's why you're having to go to the Philippines now to recruit all of your workers, because everybody in Cayman don't know. and suing the Filipino Association that allows people to come here and work permits and advises them what to do in the Cayman Islands, they're going to get a hold of you and they're going to stop making people come and work?
No, I never bring any one of them here. Anybody who come in was already here. I don't bring any one of them here. The only people I bring off island is doctors. Nobody else. Any other staff I have is people that is already here. And the one medtech. Yeah, one medtech I bring from Jamaica. But everybody else is already here. All of the people who are already here is the one I use. And now what I'm trying to do is see if I can get some locals, at least that we cut out.
Honey child. You do not want to get locals because no local can work for you and you're not going to pay them and they're not going to thump you on your head. I'm telling you straight up, Kurt. That's not going to work. You can intimidate the poor little Filipinos and I don't know who else you're hiring, Jamaicans and anybody else, but you're not going to do that to local because they will thump you upside your head. They will go sit northward for you. So don't bother with that. Take my advice. If you're not going to listen to anything else I'm telling you this morning, don't bother with that. Don't bother with it.
Okay.
Seriously. You do that and you're going to find yourself in trouble. Because like I said, your reputation...
And I intend to stay in this position and I intend to stay like this. I intend to fix it. That's why I'm working.
The only way you can fix this now, right? Because you're always in arrears and you've been in that position for years. The only way you can fix this is go to another medical facility, see if they can't buy your equipment. Most of it's probably you're still paying for it, but see what you can do unloading some of the stuff. How much you're paying in rent every single month? How many thousands of dollars is that?
8.
Exactly. You're in over your head. You are in over your head. You've been paying your rent on time?
More or less.
More or less. That means at some point you've been in arrears and the people them trying to work with you. If everything is in arrears, there's no way that this can work. You have got to listen. I sympathize with you. Like I said, I'm a business owner. I get the expenses that a lot of times the general public doesn't understand and they don't know about. And you have to know when things are just not working out and it's going from bad to worse. Remember how you were talking about Trinke? And you were talking about, how they had owed you money and blah, 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 because you told me a whole bunch of stories about them, remember? And you wanted me to embarrass them publicly? And look now at the situation that you're in.
Yeah.
Because you never look to them to learn. You notice that I never did it? I never took you on board with Trinke? Because I knew you did not understand the business.
That's true. That's true. I have to admit, that's true.
Sometimes doctors shouldn't be in business. Right?
Yeah,
if you're a doctor, if you're a lab technician, stick to that job, work for somebody else. And as long as they pay your bills, you don't have no other obligation over your head to worry about. Right? Other medical facilities have downsized and have come out of the business because if you can't handle your business properly, you're going to run into financial trouble.
Yeah, I learned the hard way and I'm trying to fix it.
Well, I'm telling you, you still haven't learned because I still hear you saying that you can fix this. And I don't see any fix for this.
It can be fixed.
All right.
I will fix it.
I tell you what. I'm looking forward to calling you again in 6 months and hearing how it has been fixed. Right? In the meantime, you've got all these people reaching out to me, complaining about you and about your non-compliance. And Kurt, I have really got tired of the complaints, and that's why I'm calling you this morning. You're going to find yourself back in court again. And in the meantime, what you're doing is you're creating reputational damage for yourself. That even if this business eventually fails, which it likely will, you're not going to be able to even go anywhere and get a job. Do you have what's your qualification? You're a physician or you were there as a lab technician?
I'm a tech.
You're a lab tech. You know that people looking at you like you're a damn fool. I'm being 1,000% honest with you. Right? This business fails, you're going to have so much debt over your head. All you're doing is accruing more debt. Who in Cayman you think will hire you as a lab tech after this? You gonna go back to Jamaica after 23 years? Exactly. So I'm also telling you, save your own backside as well as do the right thing by people. Because you're putting yourself in an unbelievable predicament. Nobody will touch you with a 10-foot pole. And you have a family that depends on you.
That's why I have to fix it, Sandra.
All right.
That's why I can't give up. I have to fix it.
Well,
for that same reason. I have to fix it.
I don't know. It sounds foolish to me. And as they say, pride comes before the fall.
No, it's not pride.
So
pride.
I don't know what to tell you, my dear, but I would suggest you come out of the situation. Kurt, I'm gonna wish you luck. We'll check in with you in a couple months and see where you're at. All right.
Okay.
All right,
but I am trying. I am trying. I can't remember. I need to. If it reaches that stage, but right now, as I say, I restructure, and I have help trying to help me to restructure.
All right.
And see how I can get yourself out.
Keep me posted.
And thanks for calling.
All right, dear.
Yeah, cool.
Well, the phone has been ringing off, but I've just gotten word that I need to try to go to court, but I'm trying to get someone to listen to the proceedings. Morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm calling about container man from Bardentown. And few of us need to call, but I just get to you, ma'am. We send stuff with him.
Hold on, honey. Hold on. I actually need to run to court. So I'm gonna beg your indulgence to call me back tomorrow about that one, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I will.
No problem,
okay.
Honey. Okay, good.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, honey. You're welcome. Because me done tell you all about container man. That not happening. Not a damn thing to happen. All right, hold on. We're going to return a few calls. These people are calling a lot, so I'm assuming they want to talk about the Kurt situation. I need to get to court now. The lawyer was a bit confused with the dates today. All right, that one not answering. Let's try the other one. And I'm just going to ask you to make your comments as brief as you possibly can. We might have to pick up this conversation tomorrow. Let me see. That person called like 6 times.
Hello.
Yes, hi, caller. Morning.
Yeah, no, it's Franz Manderson. I think you called for me.
France, thank you so much for calling back. Yes, I'm about to end the show because I realize I've got to run to court.
Okay.
But quick question for you. We had a prisoner call the program this morning. Thank you so much for calling back. Deputy Governor, folks, Franz Manderson, in case you don't recognize the name and the voice.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes, thank you. So he called on behalf of one of the Cuban residents that is there, saying that this guy is suicidal. He's suffering from PTSD. He's having all sorts of issues. None of the prison guards speak Spanish. So they're having some concerns. And more importantly, he is suicidal and he has tried on more than one occasion to commit suicide. And he's indicated that he wants to return back to Cuba. Can we ask you to please clarify what the position is with their return to Cuba? If he's volunteering and he wants to be at the top of the list, can we not expedite his return?
Absolutely. So when you called me, I was in a meeting with a security meeting with the police and the prison, and we were getting an update on the Cubans. So just for the public to know, the reason why there are Cubans in prison and not at the detention center is because of the repeated escapes that we've been having from the immigration detention center.
Okay.
We have taken a very hard line, and to stop people from constantly escaping, we have prosecuted them. And so this person would have gone to court and then remanded at Northward before he is sentenced for his repeated escapes. So obviously I'm very concerned if he is suicidal, and I will certainly get on to the
Well, this certainly, thank you for sharing that, because this is news to us. And it's good to have an explanation because it puts things in a better context. Right. So he's one of those that was escaping and shouldn't have been escaping for sure.
Exactly. And we repatriated about 17 Cubans yesterday to Cuba. He could have been on that flight if he was willing to withdraw his asylum request and ask if he has applied for asylum. We can get him back to, like you said, we can put his name on the top of the list and he can be on the next flight out.
So chances are, because I mean, the prisoner might only know what he's being told, which might not be accurate, but it doesn't sound like he's expressed to y'all that he wants to go back. He sounds like he's trying to get asylum.
No, exactly. So if he had told us, we would have had him on the flight yesterday. But thank you for the information. I'll pass that on to CBC and the prison. And, obviously we're very concerned if someone is suicidal. So we'll make sure the prison has...
he claims, but I don't know how much damage he can do with a shoestring. But we don't, like I said, we don't even want that on us. We don't even want him to try.
No, we don't. We don't. We want to always treat people fairly and with dignity and respect. So if that is an issue, then I'm sure the prison has, clear rules around that, and they know how to deal with persons who are suicidal. They have formal training in that area, and they know how to deal with persons. So I will certainly pass that on right away. But all the Cubans need to do is stop escaping, and they won't be in prison. So,
well, how many in total do we have there then?
We have about 10 Cubans between Fairbanks and Northward. We have about 10 Cubans because the public quite rightly, and I know you had it on the show, was complaining, vehemently that these Cubans were using the immigration detention center as a hotel, going back and forth.
Yeah.
So we have taken a very hard line.
Good.
We have told them that they should not be escaping, and when they continued to do it, they were arrested and charged.
Good. What's the charge exactly?
Escaping lawful custody.
Okay. Good. Very good. Well,
so,
I'm glad to hear that you guys are actually doing something about that, because we didn't know what the outcome of that was. So this certainly shed some new light on the situation. And I'm also glad to hear that yesterday we got 17 less. How many are left now, France? What are we talking about?
We have under 200 are here. We understand that a large group has left illegally. So we are tracking those numbers down now with some of our neighbors to see.
And when did they leave?
A few weeks ago, we understand. So we have been looking into this for a while. We knew that we had some Cubans missing, but it's taken CBC some time to actually track down and talk to our neighbor countries to see whether they actually arrived there. So we're now forming that up, and I'm sure we'll make a release about it fairly soon.
And
but the numbers are diminishing, and thank God no more are coming at the moment.
Yeah. And for those who are allowed to be out and about, and like you said, they're leaving on their own accord, although I guess, is that still unlawful for them to leave in that way?
Well, yes, because everyone who's leaving the island needs some kind of permission to do so. So they are getting on a boat and leaving without clearing with CBC. So it is an illegal departure. It is something that we are concerned about because we don't want to have a reputation where these people then subsequently arrive in the United States and they ask them, well, where did you come from? And it says, oh, but we were in the Cayman Islands. And then we get branded as a country that is supporting illegal immigration.
Right.
So, we treasure our way of a system. We treasure the relationship that we have with the United States. And we want to make sure that we are a responsible country when it comes to immigration, that we don't allow people to use Cayman as a transit point for illegal immigration.
Wow, it's a hot mess of a situation, but we certainly appreciate the additional information because that's why I was trying to call you, because I know sometimes we get one story and we want to hear really what's going on. Ironically, you were in a security meeting talking about them. That is so funny.
Exactly. So So that's why I missed your call.
Yes, not a problem.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, France. I know at least you're always willing to come and speak to the people directly. We do appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
All right, my dear. All right, folks, we have that update. Very good. Wow. Now that certainly lends a whole different, angle to the situation. You see? People come to you. Now he telling this poor little K-man in jail his side of the story. But look like he not even telling them he won't leave. He's applied for political asylum. What you put in an application for political asylum for if you want to leave? Just tell them you want to leave. They will expedite you. See, 17 gone yesterday. You could have been on that boat. Stop lying about your suicidal want to leave. Oh, Lord.
This number does not subscribe.
These people are trying to hoodwink us with their foolishness, but that way, hey, you can't hoodwink CMR for too long. We ain't get on it. Anyway, folks, that's the stories today. I tell you what, not a dull moment in this beautiful country. Like I said, there was an Eagle 19 JDF flight yesterday afternoon, my apologies, that was circling around the Cayman Islands. I don't know exactly what they were looking for. Maybe they're trying to find that boat of 3 that was out there with their little shenanigans. But big shout out to JDF, trying to keep our water. I guess they're trying to help keep our waters safe as well. We don't need any more drug boats, drug runners, gun runners, whatever it is that they're into. We don't need it on our shores. So here, look at the flight here. This was them circling and circling and circling. You see that one middle circle there where they look like they went around a couple times? Mm-hmm. They look like they were looking for something. And they were out for quite a few hours. Up in the skies, honey chow. What a hot mess of a situation with Kirk Donald at, what's the name of his facility again? Royale Medical. There's nothing royale about that. Nothing royal or royale. Kurt, you need to listen to what I was trying to give you, which was good advice this morning. You got a 5-year-old Benz that you're still paying for, right? You're posting that up 2021, trying to be bossy. Don't post that up when you owe people money, because the very people you owe money to is like, what the WTF? Pay us our money. If you can't afford the Benz, sell the Benz and get something else. You people have got to start living within your means. You can't live within your means when you're driving around in a Mercedes. I don't care if you owe the bank or not. You can sell it and get something cheaper, right? It just doesn't work that way when you owe people left, right, and center all this money. Now, some of the people he owes money to, I'm encouraging them to come on the program and talk directly. But he has them scared. He's threatening them, telling them that he's going to call immigration or works or whatever, and they'll never get another work permit on this island. Like, really? No, sir? Lord have mercy. No, sir? I tell you what. Oh, I forgot to call France this morning, cousin. Lord Jesus, you have got to know sometimes when something not for you. This business is not for Kurt. He got in well over his head from the jump. Yes? A lot of us will do this. We work for somebody else and we think, oh, this looks easy enough. I can do this. No, honey child. No, you can't. It's not that easy. Being a business owner is not an easy endeavor because you will have bills that you cannot imagine. And you have a legal obligation when you employ people to actually pay them. Yes. So I don't believe him for 1 minute about this one stole from him and that one stole from him. Yeah, right. Nobody not stealing from you. Those people would have been in court just like you were in court. They would have been in court a long time ago. And I not see a single name come up on the court file yet. Oh, well, the file has been dropped. It's been delayed. All I'm hearing is excuses. Seriously, come on. These are people's lives, huh? We're all in dire financial straits, some more than others. And if you cannot afford to pay someone, then you don't take out no work permit for them. You don't employ them. You hear what he talking about? He can go hire Caymanians, hire locals. Oh, you better not do that, honey child. Because you mess with that, and when them East Enders that family to me can box you upside your head. I wouldn't recommend that if I were you. Yeah. Because I got threatened Caymanians about they can't go to labor. Huh? They got to send their cousin named Labor to talk to you. That's what a labor you're going to be getting. And this is why I keep telling you guys. And people are like, oh, well, why would somebody hire an expat over Caymanian? You want to know why? This is a prime example of why they do it. Because they want to take advantage of these poor people. And the poor Filipinos are so soft. I mean, I see people soft like them yet. They're so afraid. He wouldn't do that to his own people. He said he'd been here for 23 years. He's a Jamaican. I bet you he wouldn't hire a Jamaican and do that to him because he'd know what they would do him. Same thing. They got thump him. The Filipinos scared. Oh, but he's gonna run and talk to immigration. I'll never be able to get another work permit. Please do not believe this man in his lies. He not got no such power. You think WORC business with him? Oh, he said that he's gonna, no, listen, you need to grow a pair. Okay. Here's what people are saying to me. Miss Sandy, I understand that you're busy and I'm so sorry to be insisting so much, but we can't deal with this situation. These poor people are begging for help. So I would like to tell you in writing, but I'd like to remain anonymous because my employer is a little intense/crazy. Really? I work for Royal Medical Clinic. Got hired. He asked me to join his clinic because he needed a professional in that department. As he said, he had others with no experience, always blaming the workers, honey Jill, and hadn't been able to do the job. Anyways, I haven't received my salary for 3 months. What he does is this. He hires people from overseas, brings them here, doesn't pay them, and then when the staff can't afford any longer, they leave so he doesn't get in trouble. You understand why it is now lucrative to hire expats? Because there are people in this community, including Royal Medical, who are treating staff like this. Department of Labor and Pensions, y'all need to go in there and audit this man forthwith. WORC enforcement, y'all need to go and audit this man. They're hearing complaints and they need to get to the bottom of this. I'm not finished with the complaints. All right. It continues. He even tells the staff that Labor Board won't assist us as if so if we want to try, we can try. That's what he has the audacity to tell staff. Because he's been doing this all along, he owes money to doctors as well. Recently, a lab technician, financial department had to leave due to pay. 2 months salary behind as well. I need your help. He's a very evil person to bring staff from overseas, don't pay them, but the work is done, and then he'll eventually hire a new employee to do the same. This is his MO, right? And sure enough, just this week, he hired somebody else again. Got them so-called working from home. No work permit. This is it. I found out that he has a lady working without a permit from home. Well, we need her name, as I guess you already know, that as of today, she's not going to be working for him no more. Enforcement. He seems to be willing to hang on and breaking the law, left, right, and center. And if we permit him to do so, well, what more can we possibly expect? We need to shape up a lot of things in this country when it comes to labor, employment, and immigration. I told y'all at the onset of the show, I'm working on a bit of an investigative piece, and you wait till I break that out to the people of the Cayman Islands. Y'all are going to be shocked. And I have nobody to blame but the government for this. Some previous governments, and now this government can get the blame for it too. Because they're not shaping up and doing what they need to be doing. And we are literally, the people of the Cayman Islands are being taken advantage of. But y'all wait for it, because I need to get some further details before I drop it on all of you. I gotta let you know when it's coming. These sorts of things are really quite unacceptable. If we can't look out for the least of us in a community, right? Especially a community this small. Nobody should be importing workers and treating them like this. That's not right. And I don't care how you feel about foreign workers, how you feel about Filipinos and Spanish people and Jamaicans and this and that. If you don't want them here, simply don't hire them. It's as simple as that. They come here by invitation of an employer who has to be a Caymanian somehow or another, even if they're just a paper Caymanian. Right? And you're ruining the reputation of the people of the Cayman Islands, what was previously a good reputation, for your own foolishness. And so it has to be stopped. And it doesn't matter to me who's doing it. It doesn't matter if it's Kurt, who has been here for 20-something years. It doesn't matter if it's a Ruthana, who's a born multi-generational Caymanian, probably my cousin from West Bay. The same standards have to apply to everyone, because you're putting people in a very precarious situation. And one of these days, these little Filipinos, I keep telling y'all that they're quiet, but one of these days, one of them is going to have enough. And they're going to jump up and chop somebody, or worse. Do not push people to the brink, especially when it comes to their money, and that's how they support themselves and support their families. Every time a foreign worker commits suicide, I'm like, oh God, let's see what their work situation was. Because that is normally where the stress is, financial stress. And it causes people to do all sorts of stuff, including self-harming themselves, which is just wrong. He's trying to have a go at this business. He's trying to make it successful. Sir, the business opened to the best of my collection in 2019, and you haven't been able to do it yet? And I'm not talking about making it successful. I'm just talking about paying your bills. You don't understand the world of business, so you need to step out of it. Go back and work for someone else as a lab technician. You guys saw the comments from Sadia, who worked with him. Malik, she is a physician herself. She started with him from day one. And this is what she said: I worked for him for free. I helped him open up, and he had no money to pay me, but promised to pay me later. Still no money. And he told me to get lost as I've left the island. You see? Same thing that person's saying. Hiring and getting in business with expats, because eventually you're going to leave Cayman and he feels like, oh, you're overseas, you have no power. Oh, Sadia, you're all the way in the UK, you can't do nothing. Telling her to get lost. She goes on to say, in fact, I gave him a loan from my own money. I wonder how much that loan was for. As he said, he took loans for his business and could not afford to pay his house, and his family would be homeless. Imagine. And this man thinks he can recover. If you're having issues paying your mortgage, but you're still hanging on to that Mercedes, so you better try and sell that damn car if you got any sense. Kurt, it not working. What kind of patois I got to tell you? Say it not work. Yeah? Sadia said nobody not stealing from him. They're probably trying to take money that they're owed. She also left after 3 months because of no money. Nobody can work for free. Hear what she goes on to say. He can afford his own luxuries and fares, etc. Oh. She also asked the question. Ask him why everyone leaves with the exact same complaint. Non-payment of wages. And he is the common denominator. She's volunteering to show us the messages. Send the messages, honey child. We like to see the receipts. It's like, come on. Dude, you're on a sinking ship. And because you're at the helm and you're not drowning yet in the back with everybody else, you talking foolishness about this business can be saved. The business can't be saved. You are delusional. And I'm trying to get you to understand your level of delusion is hurting people in a real way. Ann Bond says you go, Sandra, probably somebody he owes money to as well. This is very, very sad. This person says Kirk must have been in the 2003 McKeever giveaway status grants, but he needs his status pulled. Well, I don't know when he got it, honey child, but what I can say is he definitely needs to come out of this business. Why is the staff saying all the same? Poor Stacy's in the comments says, Radam, what a bangarang. It's sad. Nobody is here to work for free. People need their coins, huh? This is the truth. How many of y'all gonna be volunteering to go work for Kurt for free? Nobody. Because I can't call CUC and be like, oh, I'm not getting paid. So, you're gonna have to wait on your money. They're gonna be like, oh, click. There goes the light. Water authority, click. There goes the water. Your mortgage, click. Here comes the bank to take your home. People have financial obligations. Even expats have rent to pay. And like I said, they normally have elderly people home that are waiting on them to send money. Children. Stacy says, well, when I went there, I got my money ASAP. I'm telling y'all, it's quite an egregious situation. Romelia says tireless complaints are made to labor board and people are shut down with no help, especially when it's their own Caymanians stealing workers and living high life. Cynical pays out and helpers don't even see half of the money. John LaRue says we need a better business bureau. Or is it the ombudsman to shut him down? John, over probably 10, 15 years ago, I looked into trying to get a branch of the Better Business Bureau here, and that was the hardest thing in the world. It just wasn't happening. Apparently, they're designed to only be in countries like America and Canada, and they weren't willing to expand into the Caribbean. But, I think someone could set up their own version. They'd probably have to call it something else for copyright reasons. But, I think that, we need something here. We need some form of real consumer protection. The ombudsman, that doesn't fall in their remit. And I have to wonder, does the medical and dental clinic look at these sorts of things when they're issuing licenses? Because I do believe that his license should be pulled and he should be shut down. Vicky is saying maybe Dr. Dissaran will have him back. I doubt that. Because like I said, the first thing he did upon trying to open his own business was throwing Dr. Dissaran and Trinke under the bus, accusing them of all sorts of stuff. And I'm not saying that his accusations may not have been founded in truth, But what I'm saying is now he has turned around and done the exact same thing that he was accusing someone else of. So it makes you wonder, right? This person says Jamaicans would not thump him, they would chop him up. What a hot mess. I tell you. It's a sad state of affairs, folks, and I hope that he gets on the ball with it. Seriously. Anyway, folks, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to leave you now with your news headlines for the morning. We do have a break-in story that we're going to put up on the website. I'm so grateful for my small team that I got to make sure I'm paying them. That's for sure. My small team of employees. I was just thinking that I need to pay somebody, and I better hurry and do that today. Sometimes I get so busy, I forget dates, but I got to put it in my calendar, honey child. And so my small team of individuals that make it possible for, us to do what we do. So somebody asked me about the same story now. That's going to get posted any second now. Yes. So thank you guys so very, very much. You've got to just do the right thing by people. It shouldn't be that difficult, when you own a business, to do the right thing. And if it is, you need to get the hell out of business. Folks, we'll see you tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, for another episode of The Cold Hard Truth.
Hello, I'm Kevin Watler, and this is your CMR Daily Buzz. Here's a summary of some of Cayman's latest headlines. Police in Cayman Brac are investigating a fatal two-vehicle collision which occurred yesterday afternoon near the intersection of Pollock Drive and Heights Road. The driver of one of the vehicles, an off-duty police officer, was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The passenger of the other vehicle was uninjured. However, the driver was pronounced dead on scene, and according to CMR sources, the man who passed away is 47-year-old Thomas McLean, a father of 5. Over the weekend, police officers arrested 9 people on suspicion of DUI. According to the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, officers will continue to proactively target and prosecute persons who engage in unsafe driving behaviors. The Cayman Islands Coast Guard was involved in a chase at sea after it attempted to stop a suspicious vessel. During the chase, the occupants on the fleeing boat dumped packages of drugs and purposely ramped into the Coast Guard vessel. The 3 men were eventually stopped and arrested as their boat sank. The RCIPS Air Operations Unit then assisted in recovering a number of packages from the ocean. The Deputy Governor's 5K Challenge raised a record $100,000, which has been shared among the Cayman Islands Cancer Society, MS Foundation of the Cayman Islands, and the Alzheimer's Dementia Association of the Cayman Islands. Now for your CMR weather update. It's brought to you by WG Charters. Sunrise at 6:54. Scattered thunderstorms are expected. When the temperature is at 82 degrees Fahrenheit and humidity at 74% like the forecast called for, it will feel like it's in the mid-80s. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour and the sun sets at 6:25. At nighttime, the temperature falls to the mid-70s. Looking forward, the rain chance goes down and the days will be warmer for the rest of the week. If you would like to know more on any of these stories, visit CaymanMallRoad.com or follow Cayman Mall Road on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. That's it for now on the Daily Buzz. Thank you for joining me. Please stay safe and God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.